We're all go.
Happy days.
I'm
Great.
so excited to be on here, Bruce.
Oh, it's great to get you back, Kate. It's awesome to have you back.
Buzzing.
What about Mike? Is Mike going to join us?
Mike, are you joining us?
Or is he twitching?
He went, no. Is he just twitching? No, he's going to be water replenisher.
Good lad. God, you got him well trained, didn't you?
He's amazing.
What's he up to? Does he kill puppies or something in his spare time? Because he seems to be like the perfect partner.
Yeah, there's got to be a catch, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, there's no catch. I just dropped on with Mike big time.
Oh, Mike, you make me sick, mate. You're raising the bar here. Come on. You're setting people's expectations way too high. Yeah.
That's why there's a saying, everybody needs a mic, because everyone needs a mic, no matter who you are.
Right. Are you okay if we just crack on?
Let's go.
Right. Happy days. How long do you have, Kate? Because you're very popular. I have loads of questions.
Bruce, I am at your disposal.
Right. Happy days. Let's crack on. Folks, welcome back to Bru Time. Oh, sorry, go on.
I have no time. I was just going to say, I have no time limit, no schedule. Just all yours, guys.
Right, that's what we like to hear. Folks, welcome back to Bru Time. We've got Kate with us, UsernameKate.
Hi. How are you doing?
Right, Kate. Wow. I mean, so you got a brew there. I'm afraid I've gone heathen. I've got a beer.
Well, you know, brew time, Bruce. Brew
got to be done.
Time. Brew.
It's the only time I have booze, other than when I'm on tours, which is once every 3 weeks at the moment for a solid week. But apart from that, we're all good. Slange, here's to your health.
Yeah, that's a subject, health, but hey ho.
Oh yeah, go on then. Let's go with that. How are you?
Yeah, so I've been better. I mean, last time I was on the Disaronno because we weren't taking it easy last time, but this time I can't have a tipple because I'm recovering from labyrinthitis, which plagued me 2.5 years ago. And lasted 2 whole months. So I feel drunk 24/7, but I'm on the recovery stage. I drove today and I didn't die. And I killed no one. I killed no one. So that's a good sign.
For anyone that's not a doctor, are you okay to tell us what that is?
Yeah, of course. Sorry, it's just me assuming that everyone bloody knows what it is. It sounds like a maze, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's crystals in an ear, and basically they float around in places where they shouldn't, and your equilibrium's all off, and you wake up feeling like you've necked 2 liters of vodka.
Wow.
Like everything is going like this on repeat. And this time round was violent. Like I was being sick. It was horrific. Whereas I didn't the first time round. But this one has lasted about 2 weeks, and now I can walk straight, but I'm not rushing jumping on a bike because I just want to get a week out the way just so that I know I'm good,
Yeah, get you. Have they got any idea what causes that then?
Yes, so it can be triggered by a really severely bad viral infection. And I got Rona back when Rona was popular.
When it was on trend.
When it was on trend. I really wish I didn't get it, but I did. And it just had me bedbound. It was the worst illness I've ever had. And then it triggered this bloody thing.
Yeah.
So now this bloody thing lays dormant in the system until the next viral infection. And then you can trigger the symptoms. I've not had it for 2.5 years, so I've done well. But it's just a worry when you're full-time self-employed. It's just especially as someone that rides a motorbike.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's been frightening.
This week, we are supported by Ultimate Add-ons. Ultimate Add-ons are the premium manufacturer of mobile phone and action camera mounting solutions for motorcycles. With a kit, you know all the blurb. I read this out every week, folks. Folks, Ultimate Add-ons, they make phone cases, action camera mounts, loads of things like that. Auxiliary battery charger, charging ports that you put into the power points in your bike. They do all this sort of stuff. Their phone cases, they're shockproof, they're waterproof, they're dustproof. They mean that you can still use the phone as a phone. You can still use the camera on your phone, everything like that. They don't get affected by any vibration from your bike. They're great bits of kit. I've been using them since about 2018. I've had them on all of my bikes. Whenever I take a bike out to do a review, it's always an Ultimate Add-ons case that is on there. And I use that teamed up with Kali Moto as my navigation when I'm riding. No issues at all with any of the cameras on any of my phones since 2018, maybe even 2017. Great bits of kit, folks. If you head to ultimateaddons.com and you use the code TeapotOne, all all one word, all written out, TeapotOne, with the number 10, TeapotOne 10, then you can get 10% off. So a huge thanks to Ultimate Add-ons for their ongoing and continued support. Speaking of which, then, let's move on to happier times. You are crushing it. Absolutely smashing it.
I'm trying, Bruce.
You're absolutely crushing all the platforms that I see. YouTube, Instagram, you're awesome.
I'm really trying. Well, back at you. You're heading to that 100. That 100 is in sight.
Okay, this has taken me 14 years. Like the last time you came on here, I think you were something like 30-odd thousand subs, weren't you, when you came on?
I think you're right. I think I just touched 30.
If not overtaken me, you're just pretty much on level with me at the moment in 90-odd. It's crazy.
I mean, that's a massive achievement in itself because you are the OG. You are the GOAT. You are to me. Don't be shaking your head.
Kind.
I won't take it. No, honestly, and this is going to sound proper brown nosy and a bit suck-all-y, so I apologise.
Don't. Oh, go on it.
No, honestly, I've always, when I started my vlogging journey, you, Chopsy, the Missing and Flyer, you were the magic three. Do you know what I mean? That I looked up to. The granddads. And so just to, even be on here with you, it is just mind-boggling, really.
Well, it's very kind, but don't be daft. Go on.
No, I'm being serious. Props where props are due, for sure.
So how are you finding it being full-time now then?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Don't get me wrong. It's been the hardest I've ever worked. And I've got my flaws for sure, but one thing that I'm proud of is I am a grafter. And thankfully Mike's a grafter as well. And we have just been grafting and it's been relentless. But I'm grateful because it seems to be paying off. So I can't complain. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. I see your output, the work output that you're putting in there, and I'm gobsmacked because I appreciate how much is involved in YouTube, but then also social media. To be successful on the different platforms, you almost have to treat them differently, and that's not what I've been doing. I've been treating them all the same, really, and I'm just not getting the results. Whereas you can see on yours, everything is tailored for whatever platform you're going for.
But I can see your efforts though, with the Instagram, with the reels and the subtitles that, pop up and stuff. That's really good stuff. I look at that and think, oh, maybe that's what I need to be doing. And then I started putting words on, and I don't know, I can't make Instagram work for me like I can make YouTube work for me. It's a weird thing, isn't it? I've not mastered it. I think, what was I on? Probably 14,000 followers on Instagram when we last spoke on Bru Time. And now I'm just about to touch 40, I think. But that kind of growth over that span for a baker girl on Instagram is bloody appalling. It's not a good rate of growth, but I can't seem to master it.
But you don't... I'm old, so I'm going to say this. You know me, I don't pull my punches. You don't. To me, you don't play on the fact that you're a lassie, and if you don't mind me saying, you're a good-looking lassie as well. You don't play
so?
on that.
You're going to give me a big head.
You know what I mean? Obviously, if you put a woman in a picture or on a thumbnail or something like that, you are going to attract more attention for sure.
Of course, but I'm not naive enough to think that doesn't happen. No matter what I'm wearing, I purposely worn a baggy t-shirt today because I want to be a good influence, a force for good with younger people that are watching, and they don't need to see these. I mean, not there's much to see, but it's just not necessary. I just want to
get mine out all the time.
It's going to be all about the bikes. That's what's important, and it always has been, and it's never changed for me. So,
I love that about you. It's about the content. It's about you as a person and what you're producing. And
try.
Awesome. Right, listen, we have loads of questions. There's an insane amount across all my three platforms, really, across Patreon and Insta and Facebook. Shall we just crack on? Because otherwise we could be here tomorrow.
Bruce.
Right,
I mean, you can have me till tomorrow, but I think we'll be falling asleep mid-podcast. So, just go.
We'll have to try and beat Mossy, 7.5 hours. Can you beat that?
Mossy is he's his own entity. He is something else. So I'm not quite sure.
We're also supported by the Influencer Store. The Influencer Store helps you build your brand big or small, providing you with a solution and apparel. We help you to increase your fan base while supporting you with starting your own influencer clothing line with nothing more than just an idea or design, and there are no hidden costs. For more info, come check us out at theinfluencerstore.co.uk or drop us an email at online@influencerstore.co.uk for more information. Now, the Influencer Store, they do all my merch over at TeapotOne and for Bru Time. So if you head to TeapotOne.com or theinfluencerstore.co.uk, go to the TeapotOne section. If you buy any of my merch, you're helping to support the channel and the podcast. So a huge thank you from me to you in advance, and a big thanks to the Influencer Store for their ongoing support. Right, we'll head across to the clan over on Patreon, patreon.com/TeapotOne. First one,
hi, clan.
Debbie Clegg. How you doing, Debbie?
Hi, Debbie.
Hey, Kate. Hi, Bruce. I'm going to jump straight in with this. I don't want to spark an old fuse or plug for that matter. Anyhow, Kate, I have for a few years now watched your channel right from the early doors. I watched your advanced test pass. Now you know what I'm Now you know what I'm going to ask. You got so much backlash from that. I hasten to add I did not join that shit fight. I thought the instructor should have been the one to take on board the aftermath, to be fair. So, long-winded, how are you now feeling about the... So how are you now feeling about the after events? I hope you're still mega proud of your achievements. Okay, so this was the
it's been a journey.
Mm.
It's been a journey, let's just say. Yeah, that was a bit controversial, to be fair. And all I did was set out to just kind of wanted to promote to... I mean, I'm not your average advanced rider person. My name's not Nigel. I'm not 65 years old and I don't talk like this. I have a dream. So I'm going to get hate for that. No offense to the Nigels out there, okay? We love Nigels.
Bring them on.
No, but I'm not your stereotypical advanced rider. But I thought, you know what? If I can get out there, the main thing for me was to learn something because I'm always on a bike. So the more chance of staying alive for me, kind of the better. So if I can do something that can probably help prolong my time on this mortal coil, I'll give it a go. And I'm very open-minded in the sense that there's always something to learn, no matter how brilliant you think you are or happy with how you ride, what standards, you can always, at least have an open mind to learning more stuff. So that was the goal, just to learn. And then the secondary aspect was to bring people along the way so they could kind of see what the IM lessons, what the test, what everything kind of entailed. And, hopefully people could pick something up that maybe can't afford to do the IM, but they could see from my videos with the subtitles and stuff, what was being taught and what I was learning and what I was trying to take on board. And it was really just very much done just as a wholly positive thing to try and better myself and to encourage others to maybe do some future advanced riding that might help them in circumstances on the road. And I went into it like that. And of course, there are many people that don't think I deserved a first, let alone a pass. And that's fine. I have no gripes with that opinion because ultimately, I really wouldn't have given a damn if I came out and failed. Like I'd have put it out to all I think I had 40,000 subscribers at the time, 44,000, because I remember saying to him, oh, well, I've got 44,000 people. So if I fail, they'll all see it, but it is what it is because I don't try and put out a curated view of riding. It's like warts and all with me. If I fail, I'll put it on there and I'll be unbothered. And hopefully people can look at that and think, oh, well, Kate wasn't bothered. It didn't deter her. She just tried again until she did. Yeah. And that would have been fine. So I even said to him, oh, you're pulling my leg because I didn't think I'd passed. And that was very clear in the video that I didn't think I'd passed. But the fact that I did, that was his opinion. And he gave me a first. And some people are like, there's no such thing as a perfect ride. In my opinion, you got first. There are other people that are like, oh my God, you're an embarrassment. You shouldn't have even passed that. That's diabolical riding. The standard is crap. She's terrible. Oh, I've heard it all. And it was literally just done with the purest of intentions. And I had people come up to me at bike meet. And the first thing they said to me was, you didn't deserve that pass. And I was
Seriously?
like, oh, nice to meet you too, mate. Nice to see you. And I'm just like, that's really weird. And it's like, kind of, how do you react to that? Like, I don't know. It's a weird one. I have got grief, but I actually learned things on that I do think will help me stay alive. Little things like when you're in the third lane of a motorway, I would just like overtake something, move over, not really bothered about what's in the first lane. But now I'll look and I'll think, right, there's a HGV there, better not go into its blind spot. Continue a little bit in the third lane, then move over when I'm out of its blind spot. I wouldn't have done that before, but I did that, and that was just one little thing that I took from it. So that one little thing was worth doing the whole thing because it just made me think a bit deeper about riding. So do I regret it? No. Am I glad that I've got a mic to help me with thick skin? Yes, because otherwise it would have been a struggle, because I take things quite personally and take things to heart a lot. And Mike is very good at like, look, do these guys pay your bills? No. Why are you letting this stranger's opinion keep you up at night? Doesn't matter what they think. And I'm like, you know what, Mike, you're right. If someone can get something good out of it, then job done, job achieved. So yeah, it was a bit wild. Do I still think that it is a good thing to do? Yes. Would I publicise it if I were you? No, because there's always someone out there that knows it all and is ready to tear you down. And that's what you get when you put yourself in the public eye as a YouTuber. So I have to expect it. I have to just man up and handle it. But it still was a bit of a shock because I did it with the purest of intentions, and then to get so much like hate come your way, it was just a bit mind-boggling. I was like, wow, you're supposed to be advanced riders. You're supposed to be like, you can say things to me, but you can do it in a way that doesn't feel like you're personally angry at me for doing something.
I'm being condescending about it. Yeah.
Oh man, honestly. And you know what? I know I'm not a perfect rider, and I completely like retract the statement of advanced rider. I don't want it. I put that in my post on my test video. Don't call me an advanced rider because I don't want it. Am I a safe rider? I think so. Will it hopefully keep me alive another few years? Well, let's pray. But don't call me an advanced rider because I ain't an advanced rider. I don't want to be after the shit that I've got.
Yeah. It's the internet. Oof. It's weird, isn't it? You're like, I used to be of the opinion, the attitude that, well, if you don't want the hate, don't put yourself out there. And then you got the hate. Yeah, then I start to get a bit of a following, and then with the following comes
sure.
all the love and great comments that you get, and then you get one, don't you? You might get one out of say 100 that is just horrible. It's spiteful, and you do take it personally. You know, they don't know me, so it can't be a personal comment, but I do, and I find it really hard to bite my lip. I just give it back. And
I saw something you posted today on your 12,000 mile survey. Someone was like, hang on, you put in headers on. Oh, yeah. Isn't that illegal?
Yeah, that's right.
Weren't you a copper? And you put, I was. But I'm getting my headers.
Even when I was a copper, I had full systems on my bike, on my Gixxers. I had the tiny number plate. Do you know what I mean? I still wear the tinted visor. It's like,
you can't escape it though. It's like now for every video that I do, there'll be some eagle-eyed watcher that will be like, oh, well, you didn't do this. That's not very advanced rider review. And I'm
it's
like,
7 minutes, 22 seconds.
It's like, because I'm a human.
Yeah, I know.
And as long as I'm not being illegal and I'm making a risk that I'm happy with, that's my risk to make. Risk mitigation, obviously. But yes, people are wild. They live for it, man.
Yeah, I know. The joys, eh? The joys.
The joys.
Anyway, Debbie also says, question for you both. Do you think there's enough encouragement and support for us female motorbikers for doing the extra training after the initial standard test?
Well, that's kind of what I tried to do to encourage it.
Yeah.
But then if these ladies look at my comments and see the condescension in there, it would put me right off. I'd be like, not a bloody chance.
I get that. I get it. You know, like I did those vids when I went out with Bike Safe, and I get all this vitriol. I went out with Rapid, and I know you did Rapid as well. And,
I love Rapid.
The advanced the advanced motorcycling world. It's a weird place because you have people who like they consider it their empire, don't they? It's their thing.
It's madness.
Oh wow, yeah. And if the book says one thing and you don't stick to exactly what that book says, then you're wrong. And you're like,
you're in hot water.
Like
no. Yeah. It's wild. It is a wild world. And like I say, I always encourage anybody to get further training because even if you take one thing from it, then that's great. But my advice would be just don't put it on YouTube. Just do it yourself.
Yeah. And if you do put it on YouTube, expect
be ready.
Yeah, for the criticism.
You're ready for the pitchforks and the bats. Wild.
Last one from Debbie. She says, crisps, discuss. I've got a new obsession with the non-crisp that is a pop chip of the barbecue variety.
Oh, I love them. It's like the little poppadom, but like a crisp. I think that's what Debbie's referring to.
Yeah, I think my missus has had them a few times, bought them.
Yeah, they are nice. I try not to buy crisps, to be honest. But when I do like a barbecue hula hoop.
Oh. What is your opinion on nice and spicy knickknacks?
Oh my gosh, love them.
It's just
they're like crack.
Absolutely. Is it better? Do you get better?
Better than knickknacks. I do like Transformers. You know, like the knockoff Monster Munch.
They're the ones you used to get for like 10p a bag or something daft.
They're the ones. It's always the cheapest. The cheapest. Yeah, compressed sawdust. It's always the cheapest crisps that are the best, in my opinion, for sure.
Now, a big shout out to all of you, everybody who's listening or watching the podcast. When you like the vids, when you share, if you comment, if you leave a rating on the audio podcast, either on Spotify or on Apple Podcast or whatever platform you're listening to, wherever it is, if you rate the podcast, if you share it with people, you really do help to build the audience, to get it picked up by algorithms and get it promoted out there. So a huge thank you from me. You've helped build this podcast to one of the top 5 motorcycle podcasts out there. And those of you over in the clan on Patreon, so it's patreon.com/TeapotOne, you are a special, special bunch of people. I could not do this full time without your help. So a huge, huge heartfelt thank you from me. If you fancy checking that out, folks, if you fancy being part of the clan and coming on some of the weekend rides that we do, then head to patreon.com/TeapotOne and see if there's anything that takes your fancy. Let's get back to the podcast. Right, let's move on from that. Mark, thank you for that, Debs. Next one, Mark Fulcher. Oh, here we go. God, strap yourself in for this one. Help me, docs. So I only have one question, which I'm sure will spike a huge rise in online sales. Kate, what is your opinion? Oh, here we go. What is your opinion on handlebar mittens for the bike to keep the digits nice and toasty during the winter months? I've just emptied my pockets and invested in a set, and quite honestly, they are without a shadow of a doubt the best addition to my bike I've put on in years. So, is Kate team mittens or team Mr. Smart who is bang against them? Now, that's not strictly to Fulch, because I've had mittens on my Triumph Explorer when I had one. But now I've got the GS, I don't need them because they've got nuclear heated grips. But mittens,
they
what
are
do you
nuclear.
think?
I am so pro mittens. I would love an affiliate link for mittens, and I would push them to the hill. Do you know why? Because they saved mine and Mike's ass in Germany a few years ago. The Suzuki's, they didn't come with heated grips, and it was -11 in Germany when we set off home. And without those mittens, Mike doesn't think he would have made it back.
Wow.
So the mittens, strong shout. Strong shout.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Excellent. But it was funny when he went to do his visor, and then we were just about to stop, and he needs to get the clutch in, and he's trying to ram his hand in. They were really small. And he's like, come on, and he just managed it. So just get appropriately sized mittens and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm on a few WhatsApp groups with Fulch, and he's finally bought a KTM. He's finally bought a Super Adventure S. After years of giving me pelters for riding adventure bikes, he's eventually got one.
He's a convert.
Yeah, 100%. So I think he's got a top box and he's bought handlebar mittens.
What a guy.
He's loving it. Yeah, I know, he's embracing it.
What a guy. I love that for him.
I
stuff.
think he actually says this. He says, also, Kate, thank you. Between you and the hairy ape you are nattering away with, you both convinced me to jump on a KTM 1290 SAS. Proper peak lid top box wanker now for all my sins. There we go. Anyway,
Love
keep
that.
up the good work and keep it shiny side up. Much love, folks.
Amazing. Oh, much
Cheers,
love
folks.
to you.
Next one, Two Bob Rockets. Gordon, how you doing,
Oh,
pal?
Gordy.
Hi to you both. I'm a fan of both channels. Both produce great content. Thank you very much. And it's good to see Kate back on Bru Time. You both need to do a collab. Question 1. You both appear to have a wicked sense of humour. So who is your favourite comedian?
Oh, crikey. Who
Easy
is
for
my
me.
favourite comedian? Sheesh. I like Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
I like a bit controversial Matt Rife. I find him quite funny. I love
Why
it when
is
he
that
hits on all
controversial?
the. Oh, he nearly got cancelled recently
Really? Why?
for a domestic joke.
What'd he say?
So he said something like one of the women came on and she had like a black eye and he said like, oh, go back to the kitchen or something like that. And then it kind of it snowballed out of control. People were like,
insane.
You're a domestic abuser. And he's like, it's comedy. It's supposed to be a joke. So yeah, he nearly got cancelled. But I do generally like his stuff because it does crack me up when he tries to like hit on the old women and stuff. It's just hilarious.
Have you seen his latest special when he's just doing crowd work? It's good. It's really good.
I see loads on like the reels, you know, when you doom scrolling and then you get sucked into like a Matt Rife black hole and just watching his stuff. So, but yeah, what about you?
Billy Connolly. Without a shadow of a doubt, Billy Connolly.
Goes that same, really.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. Gordon says, Kate, your 3 bike fantasy garage. One old, one new, and one a little left field.
Sorry, I've just been distracted by the cat going, meow. Jasper, shush. Right, okay, so one new, one old, and one a little bit kooky.
Yep.
Okay. New bike. I'm sorry, it's got to be Super Duke. It's got to be.
The 1390.
1390 or 1290. I'm easy. Like, as long as it's.
Sorry, go on.
No, as long as it's just either a 1290 or a 1390, I would have it. Snap it up. What were you going to say?
Is the 1390 as good as everyone says? Is it that much better than the 12?
On the road, I find them both cracking. Mm-hmm. On track, to me, the 1390 is personally a lot better because I rode a 1290 and then a 1390, and then I rode a 1290 Evo and then a 1390 Evo on track. And both the 1290s, the power delivery on, like, when you're winding it on, sometimes it can just be like, and you're like, whoa, like the torque just boots you. And it's not very user friendly. But with the 1390, there was none of that. It's like the mapping's beautiful all the way through. Oh, I loved it.
I think that's my favourite bike ever that I've ridden so far. Is the 1290 Super Duke. Loved it.
Honestly, if I could justify one, I would have one for sure. But I can't justify one, unfortunately. They're just a lot of dollar.
Yet.
Yeah, we'll try. There's a farmhouse to come before a Super Duke in my goals, in my vision. So
gotcha.
Got to be sensible at times. Old bike. What's probably in my garage at the minute, actually, which kind of can be old and a bit kooky. But I've got an old Ducati 750S in the garage that I took to Italy. We took the front end off it. Well, I say we, Mike, took the front end off it, put a single headlight on. Like, I was just the visionary, you know, he was the spanner monkey in the garage. And I just love how it looks. I love everything about it. It's just gorgeous. And it's been raffled off at the NEC.
Yeah.
With Bike Show. So, yeah, but I've had so many people like, if I win it, Kate, you can have it back. Or you can buy it back off me. I'm like, yes. So, but when that does go, I think later down the line, I would love to do that build again. But this time, because I'm not working to like a real strict budget, I would like be messaging companies like Misaki or Macassini, see what I can blag to put on there and then make this like beautiful, radical dream forever bike Ducati in the garage.
You know that's got to happen now. Now you've said it. You've got to manifest it. You've got to make it happen.
I've got to make it happen. And Mike is all on board.
Yeah,
Mike is on board. So yeah, that'd be cool. And then something a bit kooky, which you probably wouldn't expect. Maybe a cruiser, like a Harley Davidson 48. I mentioned this in my last time we spoke on Bru Time, because I was I just finished selling Harleys back then. But one of them proper done up, it's like a badass feeling. But that's a really ridiculous question to answer, because a million other bikes will pop in my brain, and after this podcast, and I'll just be like, why didn't I say that? Why didn't I say that one? Why didn't I say that one? You can never get it right. So just absolutely. Off the top of the dome, that's what I've come up with. What about you?
Cool, blimey. Old depends how old. When you're saying old, I mean, how old are we talking?
Well, it's classed as an old bike nowadays, because the old bike that I reference is a 2002.
Right.
Is that really old? Well, I suppose, it's like 22 years old.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That isn't right. 2002 was yesterday. That cannot be right.
It's not. It's wrong.
I mean, I've got my 2011 Jigsaw, which to me is just, it's part of my heart. And that's 13 years old now. Yeah. So, but if not that, an old bike, cool, blimey. Cool. I'd have to go the first ever Jigsaw. Just mode one of the not when it was the old, not the slab sided ones, but the first of the like the modernish style, like the K1 or whatever.
K1.
Everyone says K5, but I had a K5. It was good, but maybe it would be the K5 because it was a lot better than the K3. Yeah, maybe I'd go K5. I'll just talk myself into it. K5 Jigsaw then, just because it's an iconic bike.
And it's only a little bit older than the Ducati that we mentioned, so
yeah.
2005, innit?
New bike, I'd have to go a Desmodici Multistrada V4.
Oof.
That's what I'd have to go. There's a chap came on one of my tours recently on one. Oh my god, looked amazing, sounded incredible. Oh yeah, that's a bit.
I haven't ridden one yet.
I haven't. I've ridden the V4, but not the Desmo.
Yeah.
Have you not ridden a V4?
Not in a Multistrada package.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh,
they're lovely.
I haven't.
They are lovely.
But I think I have an opportunity to ride an RS soon with BHP.
Oh, nice.
Because they're always developing exhausts and stuff. And I've just been out on their Hypermotard recently. Oh, God, that's a bike that I could have in the garage. There's too many, for sure.
I saw that on Insta. That looks awesome. And when he got the RS, I think I messaged him even and just said, that looks unbelievable. He was like, you should hear it.
Honestly, when they said that the exhaust system on that Hypermotard was going to be loud, I was not ready. I was not ready, let me tell you. It's loud. Like obscene. Like, Cal doesn't think it's obscene. I'm like, our definitions, Cal, of obscene and obscenity are very, very far apart. Because to me, that's ridiculous. And he's like, no. Like, but good ridiculous.
I had an Austin Racing GP, I think it was a GP1 NCAN. I had a Tuono, one of the first of the V4 Tuonos back in like 2014, I think it was, I bought.
Yeah.
And the Austin Racing can was like a paint pot. Oh my God.
They're just vaping, aren't they?
Yeah. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it at the time. But I look back and just think, I used to start that bike at 3:30, 4 in the morning to go into work. And you're like, my neighbours must have
bad boy behaviour.
Hated me. Yeah. Just didn't think anything of it at the time. I thought, that's all right. It's not that loud.
Wait, didn't you used to be a copper though?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Small number plate, the whole thing. Yeah. Little left field. A little left field. Well, as soon as I read that, Gordon, little left field, I just thought of the Niken. You know,
that's very left field.
I've never ridden one, but I've always looked at it and thought, no, I looked and thought, I fancy a shot at that. It's supposed to be a good giggle. So,
I've ridden one for a very short amount of time at Motorcycle Live. I hopped on one. It's good fun. It's weird, but
Mossy managed to crash one, didn't he? He was chatting about it on the podcast.
Of course he did.
We set out to crash it, and he said he had to work really hard to crash it.
Oh my God. I bet Yamaha love that.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Mind you, it's good PR though, isn't it? Like,
it is.
He had to work really hard to crash that bike, but he managed it.
Yeah.
Right,
I
cheers for that
would
one.
not Doubt it.
Cheers for that one, Gordon. Next one, Louise. Love Kate's channel and the collab travel stuff that she does with her sister's work. Motorbike travel can be luxurious. My questions. Having watched your most recent owner review, I was surprised that you didn't mention the lack of backlit switchgear when talking about what you didn't like. Do you think this should be standard, as in cars, on bikes for safety reasons? Backlit instrumentation on the GS.
Gosh, what a controversial subject, Bruce.
Oh, yeah. If you think advanced training's controversial, bring this up.
Yes.
I think, it annoys me. They should have it, but,
Yeah, there are worse things happening at sea.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, it would be nice to have it on. Like when manufacturers do put it on, it is nice because when you're riding along at night, you're like, oh, yeah, I can see everything.
Yeah.
But it would be good. But
it's not the end of the world, is it? It's just not the end of the world.
It's not.
Louise also says, secondly, what cartoon character would you be for a day and why?
Oh, what a question.
I know, yeah.
What an absolute question. I'd be a Powerpuff Girl, for sure. Fighting crime, trying to save the world. I'd be Buttercup.
No idea what you're talking about.
She was gangster. Yeah.
Wow. All I was thinking was Asterix. What's the big ginger Viking in Asterix? A big fat one.
I don't even know who that is.
Well, I'm like that with Powerpuff Girls. Like, what? What are you talking about?
No. You'd be Mojo Jojo in Powerpuff Girls if you know, you know. Don't Google him. Don't Google him, Bruce. Just take my word for it.
I'm going to have to. I'll put a picture of that up now. Cheers for the question, Louise. Next one, Rodney Lovegrove. Good evening to both of you. Good evening, Rodney. Kate, I subscribe to your channel and I really enjoy the content. Tonight, I have a new R1300 GS semi-automatic in my garage.
Oh,
is that the ASA thing? My question to you both, what is your opinion on automatic bikes and is this the way forward? Will either of you be testing one?
Oh, for sure. Well, you've tested one, haven't you?
Yeah, I had one last week, yeah.
You cheeky. Yeah, I've not had a chance.
Not a fan.
Oh, really? Would you say it's similar to DCT?
It reminded me of the very, very early DCT.
Oh.
Yeah. It races through the box so quickly. Like you're in sixth gear at like 35, 40 mile an hour. It just raced through it. And the gear changes, they were like proper, traditional GS, like take two sledgehammers and smash them together. It was just really clunky. And even once you got the revs up, it still felt, sometimes they would be nice and smooth and other times they would be horrible. It's definitely a lot better in manual. Put it in manual and it's much better, but it can still be really clunky in the gear change. Certainly first to third, fourth, fifth and sixth are much smoother for sure. But for me, just not a fan. Yeah. But horses for courses, some people might like it.
For sure. I haven't tested the BMW system yet, but anything that comes to market that's a bit different, like DCT or e-clutch and stuff like that, I'm just grateful at the moment that there is choice. Like usually when there is a DCT or an ASA or whatever it may be, version of something, you've got a normal one at the side of it.
Yeah.
And just to have options nowadays is nice. Like I wouldn't slag off the technology because I'm grateful that it exists, because if it didn't exist, then no one's kind of fighting to innovate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, very
so
true,
I like that. But I like them as options. Like, I hope the world doesn't go in that direction. It's the same with electric bikes. For me, I like them as options, but I don't necessarily want everything to become electric because I think that'll be a very, very sad day for the world, and especially bikers. But I like that they're options, and they could stay options in my book.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, you've had the e-clutch, didn't you? You tried the Honda e-clutch?
Yes.
I really like it.
I've got them videos going live the next 2 Thursdays when I was in Brighton, and oh my God, the weather was biblical.
I saw it, yeah.
But I'm actually getting an e-clutch soon to a CBR to ride to Belgium because my sister is reviewing a very fancy hotel. And she's like, I've got a +1K. And I'm like, she's like, let me look at flights for you. I said, no, I'll look at Channel Tunnel crossings. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go down there with a spare lid and then we can go and cruise around Belgium together.
Fantastic.
On an e-clutch.
Which CBR is it you've got?
It would be the 650R.
Nice.
Because the e-clutch is only available on the 650s at the minute, the CB and the CBR.
Oh, is it?
Yes, only two models.
I didn't realise that. Yeah. I had the CBR 650R.
Well, 1 second, Bruce.
No worries.
No. Sorry.
It's all right. No
Jasper
worries.
Needed attention just to see if they'd been fed on that. Sorry. So go on.
I really like the e-clutch system. I really liked it. I really liked, again, options. The fact that you still got the clutch there if you want to use it.
Exactly. Flexibility.
Yeah, it was a good system. Really nice system. No, I don't know how that would be on. I don't know how it would work on. How would it work on track? I wouldn't want. Mind you, I suppose the MotoGP lot are using a form of. Yeah.
On track, it'd just be like having a shifter and blipper.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a very efficient one because it's not governed by throttle sensors.
Yeah.
But
I'm thinking more
like
of.
anyway.
I was thinking more of like the fully automatic one rather than like e-clutch with the clutch. So I'm not sure if I found that with the GS, with the ASA on the Beamers, I found the inability to like feather in the power with the clutch. I really didn't like that. You're just totally reliant on the gear change, and maybe I'm just a sloppy rider, but I like to moderate. Particularly if you're doing like slow speed stuff or like slow corners, I like to moderate it with the clutch, what drive I'm putting through, and feed in the power, feed in the gear change. With autos, you're just relying on the system to do it, and the BMW one's just
the bike's brain, not your brain.
Aye, yeah, the Beamer one's just too almost kind of feels a bit rudimentary. Appreciates that boxer engine in it. The boxer engine is clunky just by its very nature, but. Yeah. Well, Rodney, I'll be interested to know how you get on with that, pal. So, once you've got a few miles on it, let us know what you think, because I'd be interested in your input on that. Okay, Ollie Wood. Good evening, both. Hope you're all well. Kate, what is the most annoying thing that Mike does to get under your skin when traveling together?
Takes pictures of me when I'm asleep in awkward positions. Like my neck can be like this and I can look like a thumb. And he's snapping me.
Look like a thumb?
Yeah, literally, like there's no definition. We'll all just melt into one. And he'll be, he's a swine for it. But that's probably the only thing, really.
Oh, Mike, you make us
shames
sick.
Me. He makes me sick. No, he's so good. I can't say that.
Question to both. What's the one thing you could not live without when on a motorcycle trip?
Live without?
Yeah.
Probably my cardo, because I like to bop. I like to bop along to my tunes.
I think people are going to hate me. It'll be my phone.
Nothing wrong with that.
My phone's everything. It's my navigation. It's how I pay for stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I organise my life on my phone. It's everything.
Yeah, I guess phone as well. That's really important. And earplugs. I couldn't do without earplugs on a trip.
Yeah. I'm trying to wear earplugs more because I've definitely got tinnitus coming. Yeah, definitely.
I've got that.
Or I'm going a bit mutton as well. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just selective deafness with the wife. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Yeah. Adam Shand, hi both. Big fan of both channels, and Kate is a great guest to have back. Kate, considering how much you're liking the Duke at the moment, my single question is BMW or KTM? And can you tell Bruce he has the wrong bike? Adam's got a Triumph.
I would never tell Bruce he's got the wrong bike. It's really tricky because I love the GS and I love the Super Duke. The Super Duke, admittedly, is probably more my size, realistically, as a small human that I am. But it's just the torque. of that bike. Like, don't get me wrong, the GS is torquey, but it's nothing on that powerhouse. That's obscene. And it's just, what, there. Oh. So I think for like just pure smile, giggle, wheeling over bridges, like little crests and stuff, like you just can't do that on the G. You can do it on the GS, but it's just a different type of giggle. I love the Super Duke.
Yeah.
So I probably would say that is like my favourite bike of all time. I think a GS is a more practical bike for everything, but a Super Duke, yeah, the only thing it couldn't really do would be the off-roading stuff. And I'm not very good at off-roading, so I'd rather take a Super Duke on a track than take the GS on the track. I'd rather, probably take the Super Duke around the roads in a GS as well. So it's got to be Super Duke.
Yeah, no, I get it. I people keep telling me get the KTM, get the KTM. I mean, like I really like that Super Adventure S. I think it's a cracking bike, and that's my bike. That is the type of rider that I like to be. But the whole package you get with BMW, that's why I've stuck with the BMW. Mm-hmm. But
the dealerships are pretty good, aren't they? Generally, across the board. Generally, being there.
There's two things. KTM seems to be like Ducati. I know a lot of people now personally that have KTMs and Ducatis, and the vast majority have really positive experiences with ownership, which has definitely changed over the last couple of years, because before it definitely wasn't like that. But definitely now, much better. And I kind of tentatively spoke about it in my latest vid, which was filmed like 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah. I've got the 18,000 service next week.
I read that when you commented saying, I've got an 18,000 service tomorrow. I'm like, this is the 12,000 one. How many bloody miles do you do? You are a beast, Bruce.
I'm touring, aren't I? Like I'm away on tour every sort of 3 weeks at the moment. Next year it'll be every 2 weeks. So that racks the miles up, definitely. Yeah, each tour can end up being, 2,000 miles, something like that. Yeah. So they do rack up. But now I'm just finding the 1300, it's just not engaging enough for me. It's the engine. It's incredibly powerful. That's the struggling
point for me as well. That engine, that sound, that rattle, that whine.
Yeah.
That's like, it sounds like a weird induction noise.
It's horrible, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's I call it like a Triumph whine. My old, the Triumph triples, they have that whine when you roll off the power. And this just seems to have it. But
their whine doesn't sound annoying. But this one does.
Yeah. And this one really rattles, especially when the oil starts to get, not like no oil, but when your oil drops below, say, half full, it rattles like a good one. It's terrible. But I've got new headers going on. You spoke about this. Somebody commented on it earlier. I've got like decat headers going on, and I'm just hoping that transforms
the exhaust will drown it out.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that changes it, because at the moment I'm finding it really hard to get over this lack of engagement with the bike.
Yeah, I've got to say, when I took it out this time, I tried to do it very matter of fact, my review, and that noise, I did comment on the noise, the engine noise, that it was very loud, and I'm like, guys, just listen. I bet you can hear it through the camera, and you could. So I did highlight it, but when I got back, I thought, I've literally just been on one bike, so I don't want to put thousands of people off by saying I want to highlight it, but I don't want to harp on in case it might just, I don't know, might be that bike or whatever. So then when it had its service, I rode a bike that had a service, and it sounded completely different. It sounded way quieter. And then when my dad got his, we rode back home, and he said, "Here, take it around the block." So I'm like, yeah, nice. So I took it around the block, and I thought, oh my God, Dad's got one of the rattly, noisy ones. Like, I couldn't live with this. And then I rode it after he'd had a service, and I rode home from Halliwell Jones Motorrad in Chester, rode home, and I was like, yes, it sounds well better. It's a lot quieter. So it's just one of them weird engines. I feel like you either get lucky with it or not. Did yours quieten down after the for service, or just been like that all the time?
Mine's got louder and louder and louder, and then
no.
I was down in the French Alps a couple of weeks ago doing a tour, and it was the worst it's ever been. It literally sounded like I had a can full of bolts and I was shaking it. And the wine was there, and even there were two other lads on this tour who had 1300s as well, and theirs both sounded totally different to mine. Theirs sounded really tight. One of them's got 10,000 mile on it, so he really does use the bike, and his sounded nothing like mine. And my suspension seemed to have dropped as well. Felt like I was riding like an ape hanger, And everybody was said to me, "You look like you're sat on the floor. You look really low." And when I tried their GSs, theirs were much higher. So I took mine in last week to my dealership, Group 1 in Brighton, plug, and they had a look at it. They were going to fit the headers and stuff, but couldn't. Long story short, a few things have to get sorted first. But it needed a firmware update. So they did this firmware update, and it basically just reset the bike back to factory defaults. Because sorry, I should have added this. The wonder wheels knackered. The wonder wheels stopped working. So it won't scroll up and down, but it'll scroll left and right, but not up and down. So I couldn't get into the suspension settings to see what's going on. So they did the firmware update and said, it's going to be a couple of weeks before we can get a wonder wheel sent in. But I rode the bike away, and it sounded totally different. And the suspension was the highest I've ever known it. I mean, it was literally, I rode the bike away and I was like, oh my God, this is lovely. Because before I felt really low, like my knees were up around my ears. And I remember when I first got the bike, I put the suspension on max. I always do. I always put it as firm as it will possibly go. And the 1300's a much firmer ride, isn't it? Because it's got two rear shocks now. So it's much, much firmer ride. But and at the moment, it seems to be okay.
I feel like it's a really inconsistent bike.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just with all these differences that people are experiencing, and it's just bizarre. Yeah. I don't understand it.
I mean, I expected people love to hate the GS, don't they? They love to hate. If you have issues, they love all that. But I expected issues because it's the first of the 1300s, isn't it?
Of course, you'd be naive not to be honest.
Yeah. So I'm fine with that. But as you said, it's the discrepancy between different bikes.
Mm-hmm. It's like, weird.
What's going on here? Why do some ride different to others? Why do some sound totally different to others? And
it's a bit worrying, really.
We'll see.
Because surely they should just be so standardised. You'd expect it.
Who knows? Look, let's tackle this. The new GS Adventure. Thoughts?
It does look like Lego, for sure.
Have you seen it in the flesh?
Haven't. I need to. I'm excited to ride it. Yep. I think GSA owners will still buy it. It will still sell. It'll be a grower. It'll grow on people. People will get used to it. But yeah, I think it was probably the most controversial release of the year so far, with the aesthetics of it. Like the GS, the standard one, was controversial enough. But this one, everyone's social media was alight with slander. It was like me after publishing my test. It was hate everywhere. But yeah, it's just mental. I mean, I'm always open-minded with motorcycles. It is a little bit boxy for my liking, but it probably will grow on me like they always do.
I'd be interested to see what your opinion is once you see it in the flesh, because I saw it last week, and I love it. Is it
gross? Oh, you love it?
I love it, genuinely. And I'm not an adventure lover. I've never liked the GSA. I've just thought the GSA is a fat GS. Why would you get a GSA? Because, unless you're going to be touring 2-up and you're going to be covering big miles and you want that weather protection. But otherwise, you're just getting a fat, slow version of a GS. So why would you not just get the GS? But this, I saw it, sat on it, and I was like, what would you give me for my bike? I actually thought I'd chop mine in for this. It was beautiful.
You have shocked me.
I shot myself. I hated it. On the launch day, I was just
the
like,
heck?
I thought, BMW, you've killed the GS brand. That's what I thought when I saw it. I thought, you have just committed harry-carry.
Damn.
Then the next day, there was one picture I saw on, I think on Instagram, in amongst loads of others.
Or a different angle.
One picture that just made me go, ooh, I like that. And then every day thereafter, as new pictures came out, I was just like, oh God, I think I actually like this. But I kept an open mind, like you said. And then I was at the dealership, it was under the blanket, and one of the boys was just like, come and have a look at this. So they showed me it. It was a triple black. Beautiful. Just beautiful.
Oh.
And
I am excited to see it.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. I like them little welds on the tank.
Yeah.
There's two like little welds that go up. I don't know whether that's just on a triple black one or whatever. I've seen it. I was like, I like that.
Yeah. The welds on the fuel tank. Yeah. It's just little details like that.
I like that.
There's lots of stuff that, I wouldn't have the stock BMW luggage. I'd rip all that key off and then I'd put aftermarket-y stuff on. But it looks, I think it's so different to the standard GS, because the standard GS is so sleek and flowing that I've had to spend a chunk of change, and I've got my Lone Rider kit and all that. So you chuck a load of stuff on to bulk it out and make it look like that adventure bike again. Whereas the GSA just looks it.
It's really funny because everyone criticised the R1300 GS as being too curvy. It looks like a Honda NC, blah, blah, blah.
Like
and now they've made it boxy and Lego it and aggressive and agricultural and utilitarian. Everyone's like, oh, it looks like Lego. It's too extreme, blah, blah. It's like they can't win, I guess.
I think it's going to fly. I think it's going to be the biggest seller they've ever had.
Do you honestly?
Genuinely,
I think it'll do well, but I don't know if I'd commit to those levels of...
I think when people see it in the flesh and they start seeing it out and about, because it's not going to ride bad, is it? It's going to ride amazing.
It can't ride bad.
And the standard one, okay, it's really refined and it's a little bit boring, as we've said, but the power's phenomenal. It's ridiculously quick, insanely quick.
Okay, then I know you've got questions coming in, but I've got a question for you. GSA, new one, or say a 1390 Super Adventure S, 1390, we're talking in the future, because that's going to come out.
Difficult, because I've been very, very close to jumping ship. Very close. I was really blown away by the Ducati, by the V4S Ducati. Really blown away. But the KTM still does it for me.
They've just got that funness about them. Yeah,
definitely.
You feel like it's not like old mannish. It's like it's youthful, it's sprightly, but it's comfortable. It's just
that it's got that hooligan edge
DNA
to it, hasn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
I get you.
I don't know. I like the package with BMW. I've got a really good dealership, and I get looked after by them. And a lot of people think I'm bought and paid for by BMW. 100% I'm not. I'm not in BMW's
for a second.
Yeah, I am not in their good books at all. I'm blacklisted from it. Yeah.
Oh, are you actually?
Yeah. I did a review of that electric thing, that CEO4, and they hated it. Because basically I just said, like, this is a lazy attempt at an electric bike. It's like 3-year-old technology and you're paying premium for it. There's plenty better ones out there. So,
but everyone's entitled to an opinion, right? And you've got to deal with it.
I know. I don't get why PR because I'm blacklisted by a few. I don't get why PR companies are like that, because if you just lie about stuff, people will find that out, and then you're buggered then, aren't you?
Your credibility is the most important thing as a YouTuber. If you don't have that, you've got nothing.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, Adam also says, any chance of a channel collab? Maybe get Bruce to finally do the next 125cc challenge. Well, we were talking about a collab years ago when you were on.
I know. It's just, I think it's so difficult with us being like other ends of the earth, it feels. But even though we're both not shy of miles,
but it's
we
like,
should
what?
really make some effort, shouldn't we?
Yeah, but like what though?
And then logistically, it's hard because like whose channel does it go on? It's always the tricky thing. Like, does it go on one channel and we do 2 collaborations, and one goes on one channel and one goes on the other? Like, how do you play it? Like, it's difficult.
That's something we faced when we did you remember the bike versus planes thing?
I love that.
We all did. Yeah, it's probably the best thing I think I've ever been involved with. I really enjoyed it. But it kind of flopped just because we all put it on our own channels. So we kind of said then, right, if we do this again, we'll split it. So, try and do a couple of vids and put one on each channel. Do it that way, I think that's the best way to do it. Or one of you, somebody just goes, right, okay, this is on your channel. You take that. You edit it.
But then, yeah, because then obviously they're editing it, and they're putting all the work in, but then they're getting all the reward really because they'll get all the views and stuff. And I suppose it's a bit of a selfish way of looking at it. But it's also good exposure, isn't it, for the other person that's involved? Because your audience, even though we're pretty much matched in subs at the moment on YouTube, there's bound to be people that follow you who don't follow me, and people that follow me that don't follow you, and it's just a good way, isn't it? It's how you grow effectively at the end of the day. Yeah, true. Very true. You just have to put our heads together and think of something decent to do. Probably something. If you ever need a stand-in for Chopsy on the big hunts for Victoria's Sponge and Miguel. Kate, I might take you up on that because Chopsy's bloody useless. Sponge. I can't get him to commit to anything. That? He is. I can't get him to commit to a single thing. He's too busy going off on doing bloody launches all over the place. Gamma banter. Yeah, I know. But if you want to do something, we could do something like that. We'll have to get people commenting in the description, in the comment box below. What do you want us to do? Be nice. Be nice, not nasty. Super. Right, we'll see what horrific things come up in that comment box. What kind of worms have you just opened? Oh, no. I didn't think that through. Cheers to that, Adam. Next one, Dave, the sidecar dog. Hi, Dave. How you doing? Dave's. Hi to you both. Hi, Dave and Dave. Our standard question. Hi to you both. Our standard question, what's your favourite cheese? Oh, I do like a deep fried Wensleydale. Deep fried Wensleydale? Oh, yes. Oh. If you're ever up Haws, everyone says, did you just say Haw? But no, Hawes. It's in near Trafford Bowland. If you ever stop in the town of Haws and you go in the little chippy and you ask a deep fried Wensleydale, you will not be disappointed. Wow, I'm going to have to try that. Okay. That's where we can go, Bruce. Cheese hunts. More cheese, Gromit. More cheese. Where else is famous for cheese? Gloucester. This is going to be a big ride, this. Got to go from Gloucester. Is it Gloucester Red? Where's Stilton from? I mean, as someone that's lactose intolerant, this might be a challenge. Oh, no. I'll give it a go. Oh, no. I just have to make sure I tuck my pants into my boots so I'm contained. Be like me when we did the best fish and chips. I've got a really bad stomach. Oh, so I have to really watch. I tell you what I struggled with just watching you guys eat the liquor. Yeah. That would have got too much for me, that, I think. The liquor was all right. It was the jellied eels. Horrendous. See, the cold jellied eels was just cold, I couldn't eat dead it. Eels. No. Yeah, I couldn't eat it. I think I actually spat it out on the floor, so I had to apologise to Keith. I couldn't eat it. That's gross. For me, favourite cheese. I spoke about it before in this podcast. My dad used to work in Norway, and he used to bring back this like chocolate goat's cheese. I can never remember the name. Well, we called it chocolate cheese. Turns out it's not. It's caramel goat's cheese. And a chap, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I've forgotten your name. I do apologise. I'll put it on the screen now and I'll find out. This chap sent me 2 packets of it, and it was amazing. And I wanted to do something on the socials, of me like, oh, this is amazing. I finished 2 packets before I just devoured it. I did, yeah. I'm sorry. Such a fat knacker. But that's amazing. Yeah, Norwegian caramel cheese, I think it's called. Oh, I could get on board with that, to be fair. It's amazing, Kate. You can literally eat it like a big clump of it. I do that with cheddar sometimes. Yeah. Have a bit of a sad day, just showing on the block. Like a little mouse. Oh, God. Speaking of mice, I just had the plumber round. My boiler's not working. Guess what's happened? No. A mouse has got in there and chewed through some wires. What a little shit.
Tell me, it could be a new boiler. Literally, it could be a new
No,
boiler. Yeah.
just what you need.
Tell me about it. Jesus. Anyway,
Swine.
we'll not go there. Watch videos, please, folks. Please watch lots and lots of videos.
Please watch the ads, guys. Please.
yeah, I know, yeah.
Be disciplined, guys. Come on.
Next one from Dave. Also, will you both be going to cheer the sidecar guys on when they attempt their Guinness World Record attempt at the longest reverse on a motorcycle? I saw this. I saw them talking about it. I
don't even know about it.
Well, you know the sidecar guys, Matt and Reese.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, exactly what Dave says. They are attempting the world record at the longest reverse sidecar journey, or reverse on a motorcycle. Yeah, I think they're doing it on their sidecar, I think. Right, I'll need to find out when it is, Dave. And if I'm in the country and I can get up there, I will. I'll go up and see.
We need the two Daves to attempt it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Daves, you got to do that. Let them set it, and then you can beat it.
Sounds good.
Go. Have you done the sidecar thing yet? Have you been up with the lads and done the sidecar experience?
No, my mates have. Lucia and Lily did it, but I haven't done it. I really want to do it.
Do you know?
Yes. Yeah, it seems good. It seems fun. But I'm one of these people that like can't really steer like three-wheelers, or I can imagine I'll try and lean, and you got to like actually turn, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I'm not very good at it. It's like quads or like the big Polaris stuff. It's like I'm a Bambi on ice. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I'm not very bright, I've got to say.
It made me love off-road. I loved off-roading it. It's amazing. These things they're like unstoppable. They just plow through anything. It's so much fun.
And you can't fall over unless you really try. Try. Oh, you can. Is it quite easy?
Quite easy, yeah. Oh, surprisingly easy to flip it.
I take it back. What do I know?
Do it.
I got to try sometime. Maybe it's on the agenda for 2025 when my schedule is free and ready to have things added to it.
I'll drop the lads a line and get them to drop you a wee message if you fancy it.
Yes, that'd be mint.
Right, cheers to that one, Dave.
Sounds good.
Adam Robson. Sorry. I recently rode the 1300 GS. Excuse me, and I found it did everything a little too well. I found it a bit meh. Then a slightly crusty, clunky 1999 R1100 GS came up for sale locally, which I didn't know I needed or was even looking for. But I fell for its character, and with my partner away, not able to rein me in, I ended up buying it. She wasn't as excited as me when she found out. I wonder why. What have you bought, bike-related or not, that was something unexpected or not needed? That's a good question. What have I bought?
I guess, like for me personally, nobody expected me to buy this Ducati, albeit under Bike Shirt's budget. But like the project was like get a bike, do something to it, and go somewhere. So I was like, oh, this sounds very vague, and I'm open to the challenge. But a lot of people like didn't know me. Like obviously people watch the channel and stuff, but they didn't know me through my teens. They didn't know that I absolutely adored radical Ducatis. Like my Instagram was littered with them from like 2013 onwards. And that was only because Instagram became a thing in like 2013. Yeah. Whereas like that was just what I love. So I think I had people and they were like, why have you bought a Ducati to do this on? Like, you're a GS girl. You should have bought a GS. I'm like, whoa, okay, you telling me what I should have bought. Like, I didn't want a GS, an old GS. They're lovely, like an R80 or something. I'd love to do that. But that wasn't my thing when I was growing up that I absolutely adored. Like, it was the radical Ducati. So there was a lot of people that were telling me that I shouldn't have bought that Ducati because I'm the GS girl. It's like, I think I'll do what I bloody well want then.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So yeah, people didn't expect that bike for that. So I suppose I can use that as an example for this question. Because personal bikes, I don't think I've ever bought anything that anyone didn't really expect.
Okay. What about non-bike related?
Well, stuff that I've bought that people wouldn't expect.
Or is unexpected for you something? That's a weird question though, because would you buy it if you weren't thinking that much of it?
Am I interpreting this wrong? Probably. I mean,
as soon as I said it, I've just thought something. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
I did do a punt on something. Where is it? Bear with me, Kate.
I'm bearing with you.
Here it is. Right. I took a punt on this. Have you seen these? These Hover X1s.
I've
These
seen
little
you
drones.
use it. Did you use it with the e-clutch video?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't see. I do watch. I do take note. Yeah, I saw it. I thought it was pretty cool.
I had emails from them for ages, and I remember just looking and thinking, "What is that bag of poo?" You know, I remember looking at it thinking, "This is going to be some cheap Chinese stuff." No, I'm not getting involved with that. And then I saw Chops did a video on it because Chops loves a black. So if he gets offered something for free, he'll have it. So he did it. He did this vid, and I was like, "Oh, actually, that looks quite good." And then I had a look on Amazon, and it was a chunk of change for this. I think it was like 400 odd quid with a spare batteries and charger. And I think I'd just done a tour, so I'd just been paid from a tour. So I was like, yeah, money to burn. And I bought
Flush.
one. And honestly, it's great. It's really good. It's that good that they've just released an 8K version of it, a brand new Pro one on Kickstarter. And I've bought that. So that should be coming in the next month, I think. But it's a really handy little bit of kit. And you saw on the e-clutch one, it syncs to the mic on your phone. So you could, I mean, I was standing like this and talking, but you could have a wireless mic, like the DJI wireless mic or something. You could have like that all lapelled up and ready to go. And it records the audio on the drone, but there's magic in the drone that cancels out the noise of the drone. So you're not hearing the rotors in the background. It's great, like a spare cameraman there. Yeah. So it's been a really good bit of kit. It's a bit limited, this one, because it doesn't do well in wind, and there's not much of a range on it. I think it goes to like 20, 30 feet. But this new one is like 5 kilometers it'll go to, and tracks up to something like 40 mile an hour. So I'll be trying that out when I get it.
That's awesome. Definitely.
But bike wise, no, I don't think I've. The closest thing I've done in regards to taking a punt was probably buying my first GS, because I'd never ever ridden one before I bought it, and then probably buying this latest. Yeah, that is. But I just thought, everybody that I know with an adventure bike can't be wrong, because they all had GSs, and I'd just come from the Triumph. And then I suppose I'd done the same with the 1300. I bought that without riding it. I bought that without even seeing it, to be honest. I saw it on the launch and that was it.
You just committed.
Well, yeah, I thought you can't lose, really, can you? Because if it's never going to be a bag of poo, but if there are things that go wrong with it, it's content. So, and
exactly.
When you've got a decent following behind you, it's kind of nice to be out there and go, right, if you're looking at buying this bike, watch out for this, because this can happen or that can happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, whatever.
You like the sacrificial lamb, Bruce?
Well, I mean, we get paid for doing stuff like this, don't we? So,
True. Comes around.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers for that one. Next one, Bingley Wheeler. High question for you both. What's the best and worst aspect of being a YouTube content creator? All the best, Dave. Wow.
Best aspects, being my own boss. Love that. No one telling me what to do. No one giving me a lecture because I haven't hit so many KSIs or whatever it is. And no one to tell me I'm not performing in my job. Like, I am my own boss and I am determined to make this work. So I am like my harshest boss, actually. But at least it's coming from me. And so that's good. I'll just love like reading all the comments, engaging with people in the community when you do release a video, and like hearing what people have to say about bikes. Like, that's so cool that people like have so much to say. Some of my comments, like, they'll be like, I'm scrolling through my phone and they're this big, and I'm like, wow, this person's really took a chunk of their time to comment on my video. Like, that's really cool. So I like that. I like the creative outlet for me. Like, I love all things bikes. So, and I kind of weirdly like looking at the data of YouTube. Like, I like the analytics. That's almost like my, I don't know, like when you're at work and you've got like a customer management system and stuff like that, like look at the analytics on Studio is like my nerdy thing where I'm like, oh, well, that did well. What was that specifically about? Okay, so maybe I could do a video purely based on that topic because it seemed to do well there. And I like all that kind of, nerdiness with YouTube. Like it's fun. It's fun for me.
So you actually do what they all tell you to do? You look at your analytics, figure out why it's done that, and then act on it? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, and I'm like, that video did amazingly. I need to do that again, but maybe offer something different. Like, what did I learn I didn't know back then? What can I add to it so that I'm not just like copy and pasting a video that I know did well just for the algorithm's sake, that somebody will watch and be like, she's literally covered that before. Like, you've got to like figure out ways to add things and make it different so that you can justify it as a new video, but know that did well. So that should do well in theory.
Just do a TMF. Stuff like that. Just do a TMF, repost the same video a year later. Just do that.
What a guy.
Can't believe he does it. Can't believe he gets away with it.
That's mental.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, fair play.
Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you if it's working? Yeah, it's interesting that with the analytics. I sit there and I look at the analytics and I'm just like, this year has been really shit for me for the channel. Like, just the channel's just no, since the America series, basically. I think I did the first episode of the American series and it did okay. And then the channel just nosedived after that. So like if I was to get 4,000 or 5,000 views on a vid, it's like, okay, that's not bad for this one. They've just been terrible this year. But I do just sort of look at the analytics and then just
it can be disheartening if you're in a bit of a row where things are like views are low. But I've really trained myself and my brain to not get down about the ones that don't do well, because they're not all going to do well. You've got to have the ones that don't do as well to really appreciate the ones that fly. And I think, 5,000 people saw that video. That's 5,000 people that might have got something out of it. 5,000, when you think about it, it might be shit from a view count perspective, but that's 5,000 people that have watched that video that might have got something out of it. So, and then I think because I'm going to be putting out another video in a few days, just keep putting them out there, and then some will take off, and then I'm happy. But the ones that flop, I really don't try and dwell on them, because it's just all adding to my catalogue, hopefully, of evergreen content, depending on whether YouTube continues to exist forever. But it is the second largest search engine in the world, so you would hope that it's got some weight and longevity behind it. And then just putting stuff out, even if it flops, from a monetary perspective, that video might earn me £2 a year for the next 5 years. But it's £2 I wouldn't have had. So,
yeah, exactly. And it's cumulative, isn't it?
Exactly.
If you have 800 vids, 1,000 vids there, and say 500-600 of them are actually earning revenue each month, they're all earning a couple of quid each. It soon adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah, as my dad says, it's better than a kick in the dick with an open-toed sandal.
Absolutely. It's a man of wisdom, your dad.
He is. He knows. So
what's your...
Yeah. Go on.
Sorry, there's a delay on these Zooms. It's really infuriating. Sorry. I wish I did these face to face, because the delay can get really annoying sometimes. But like you say, every couple of days, is that what you're doing? You're chucking a vid out every few days then?
Twice a week.
Jeez, that's some work,
and I've been consistent in it for 2.5 years. How I've not had a nervous breakdown yet, I don't know. But I haven't. I've managed. But that was my goal, because when I was employed, I was trying to put out a video a week and I was succeeding. So then when I went full-time, like just do my own thing, I was like, really, in my brain, there's no excuse for me to not put 2 videos out a week, because I've just freed up 37 hours.
Yeah.
So my strategy all along was continuity, consistency, and always show up. And even if things flop, as long as I'm putting my face out there, someone's going to care. Not everyone. I mean, I get people commenting like bored, boring, and it's just like, okay, sure thing. But other people don't find it boring. Some people find it good. And that's all I'm bothered about, them people that care and that are nice and that get something from it. So that was just always my strategy. And when I do hit the 100,000 subs, I don't know whether my strategy is going to change, whether I might do one video a week, but try and focus more on quality of production, more of the storytelling aspect. Because when you are pumping out 2 videos a week, sometimes you can't be as, like, I'm a perfectionist and you can't always achieve it because you are basing it on quantity, but you're trying to do as quality a job as you can whilst focusing on the quantity. Or do I just carry on doing 2 a week? I don't know. I don't know how to play it yet. I'll experiment, because Missing and Flyer was saying that when he dropped to put in less videos on, his views went up, which does make sense, because I guess you've got a video that's simmering, like basking and marinating in the algorithm and accumulating more views. Whereas when you put something else out, it's almost like focus on that for a bit. Next one, focuses on that one, like what's current. So, like, I don't know how to work it, but you have to try things in order to grow, because it might work, and if it works, mint. If it doesn't work, oh well, back to the drawing board. You tried. No one died.
And things are changing all the time, aren't they? Like the algorithm, allegedly, it's constantly developing. So what might work for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months, all of a sudden it doesn't work as well anymore, does it? And you just have to figure out, okay, what is the algorithm particularly specifically looking at? I think at the moment it's watch time, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you can always ride the wave of the algorithm as long as you are authentically yourself, and you'll always prevail. If you are just yourself, you engage with your audience, you care about them, you can always ride the wave. It might be low, it might be high, but you'll always get through it as long as you have core supporters that really like you and you put time into them and stuff. Like, you should always do okay. Yeah. As long as you don't, like, cancel yourself in the meantime, like I nearly did with bloody Sheepgate. Good Lord.
Come on, what was that? Sheepgate?
Yeah, ages ago, me, Mike, and his mate Cliff, we all went to Wales on Sinis Akuma 125s. Cliff had a Grom, and we were going down the single lane, and there was some bloody sheep in this, like, single track lane with all the big hedges, and I'm laughing my head off as we're riding behind him, because I'm sorry, the little backsides were going badoink, 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 and it just visually looked hilarious to me. So I'm laughing my head off, and I think people took that as, like, me being callous and, like, riding behind them and laughing and trying to scare them. But I just found them so funny. And literally people were like, I supported you until this video. And I'm like, I couldn't help that they were in the middle of the bloody road. I've reported you to the Welsh police. And I'm like, why don't you report the farmer to the Welsh police for the negligence, for letting the bloody sheep run wild in the middle of the road? How about that? But so as long as you can stay not getting cancelled, then you should be okay.
Just be you.
It's a wild world.
Yeah,
exactly. God. It's a wild world. You can't please everyone. I'm learning that.
Yeah.
Like, as a severe people pleaser growing up, it's quite hard when you get hate, because you're like, oh, why don't you like me? What have I done? I've done nothing wrong. Like, I'm a nice person. Please like me. And then you just think, you just can't win with miserable people. Like, that's not on you. That's on them. Like,
I was like that. I was definitely a people pleaser. And I think nearly 20 years in the old bill changed that. And then I sort of went the polar opposite, where I became very blunt and very combative. Well, maybe not combative, because I think I've always had the ability to talk to people.
Yeah.
But to the same extent, my tolerance and patience disappeared. I used to be very tolerant and very patient, and I think years of just dealing with the public within that role just got rid of that. And I just found I found myself I became this very short, skeptical, suspicious person that I didn't really like. I didn't know and I didn't like. And then for me, it was travel. Travel sort of, I think, switched all that off. Definitely mellowed me, and I came back into that world with a different attitude.
Yeah, like where you see, like, more of the good of people when you're generally traveling, because, like, in a police officer role, I can imagine you're looking for the bad things to stop them. So you see it a lot. Yeah. Whereas in travel, you might break down, and there's always someone lovely who wants to help, usually in my experience, or someone that's going to run you somewhere and just just give you faith back in humanity, really.
Absolutely. You
So,
nailed it.
yeah.
Yeah. But I have found since going full time, maybe I was just getting a bit burnt out. I don't know, but I have found like my patience was disappearing again. Maybe because when when you're home, you're editing. Well, I am. I'm in my office and I'm editing, and in my head, I'm like, well, I've got to get this done. I've got to get that done. There's the business side of it, isn't there? There's got to answer this email, got to contact these people, reply to that comment. What have they said on here? Keep the platforms going. All the accounts.
Juggling.
Yeah, everything
spinning
like
all
that.
the plates.
Yeah.
Hoping you don't smash them.
Aye. And anytime I sort of try to take a step back from that and have a life outside of this little bubble, all I'm doing is thinking about this, and it's like, oh, I've not done that yet. I need to do this. Or I've got that trip from 3 years ago that I've not edited yet. Shit. And I need to get that done. So it's just like there's been no getting away from it, I think.
You can't get away from it.
Yeah. And I've definitely found myself getting very, what's the word? Like short and almost resentful of it. And then you're like, well, don't be daft. You're living the dream here. You've got your dream life. People would chew their arm off to do it. Yeah. There's people out there digging holes for a living, and I'm sat in my own little office at home or riding a bike for a living. So
there are people that work in complaints departments.
yeah. Forget that.
Like, fair play to them guys. Like, you have to be a certain kind of like badass to do that, because I'd literally end up probably going to jail or going crying every night. There'd be no in between. But no, I'm finding that I need to control myself with my sass. I'm getting a bit sassy with like nasty comments, and I need to just rein it in and not do that. Like Mike's even said sometimes, he'll be like, I see that you just replied to that nasty comment. Why are you giving that your energy? You need to be replying to the people that are giving you the good energy. And I'm like, you're so right. Because I suppose when you've got a limited amount of time to reply to things, obviously it's the nasty ones that jump out at you like, excuse you, and then you get like this. And then the nice people aren't seeing the love, and then people are seeing that you're biting. So they're more likely to write something nasty because they see that it gets a response from you.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the other day, I posted the Canary Motorcycle Tour video. Someone said, I'm surprised they allow women to do this. So then I put, oh yeah, they're really inclusive. They allow everybody, even inbreds. You should inquire. And I'm like, no, Kate, no. Like, you don't need to sass. Like, just ignore. It's a troll.
No,
you're feeding
good.
it.
I like that. Golf clap. Golf clap.
Don't feed the troll. Don't feed it. Don't bite. And that I do need to listen to Mike more when he says that, because he's very business-minded and he understands that the good people are the ones that you should really spend the energy on. Because they're the good people and they deserve the energy. He's
100% right, isn't he? But I take the viewpoint, fuck them. If you said that to my face in the street, I'd have a bit more respect for you. But those ones that just hide behind the keyboard and give it, you're like, you wouldn't even look me in the eye if you saw me in the street. So you're like, you're having it. Have it.
Yeah.
One of these days, someone's going to walk right up to me somewhere and go, bang, have that.
But like you say, at least you can respect it a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. If you do that to my face, fine. But the keyboard warriors really hack me off.
Do you know what I just think? I think they must have a really unhappy life if that's where they're spending their Sunday or the Saturday evening. I'm like, this is prime lifetime, Saturday evening. What are you doing slagging me off? Like, I hope you have a happier existence, because something's not right in there if that's how you're spending your time. Be productive. Go and do a hobby. Go and read a book. Go and live your life. Just wild.
It's people's comments, like, this will be the last, I'll not linger on this any longer after this. But it's comments like, most recent one, I was given the new Moto lights by Lone Rider.
Oh, yeah.
So
nice.
I put them on the bike and I've posted a couple of pictures and some content about it. And I've had comments from people saying things like, oh, it must be nice to be given free stuff, blah, just for putting a couple of pictures up. And you're like, again, a bit. And you're like, it's amazing what happens when you spend 14 years of your life building up a brand and some integrity and a community that values what you say and the input that you give, that a brand will give you, £900 lights for you to do a couple of pictures.
Yeah.
You just think, what an arsehole thing to say. Why are people like that?
Things are more annoying because it's like the questioning your work, like your work ethic and stuff like that. Like, I've never worked harder doing this, but you'll get comments like, "Oh, another do nothing," like, and it's like, do nothing. I do everything, but then you're like, you can't bite. You just can't bite. You just got to think. You got to use that to drive. Screw you. Don't engage with it, but use it as a fuel to be like, I'm going to be successful, and you're going to cry.
Kate, you need to be my mentor. You're gonna have to be my little call line when I phone up and go,
You ring me whenever,
getting
Bruce.
to me again.
And if you want to go a step further, we'll get Mike to speak to you, because he will whip that out of you straight away. He'll get you thinking on a completely different plane.
Mike the Sensei. Yeah, absolutely.
Literally, yeah.
Right, we've got another Dave. Dave Albin. Oh. Hi all. Question for Kate. Does Mike ever refuse to do the hoovering because he's jealous of you having so many great times with Duke of Blonde? P.S. I love seeing your videos together. Mike gets involved.
Mike gets involved a lot. And in fact, Mike is going to appear on the channel quite a lot in the future, because obviously I've had labyrinthitis. I've not been able to ride. So I've been doing the stand-up pieces to camera. He's been mic'd up, vlogging. He's fucking good at it.
Of course he's good at it. He's good at everything, isn't he? Git.
He's so annoying. And he actually took the Trans Alp that I've had for quite a while, and he went off-roading on it, because he's like, I never see people off-roading on the Trans Alp. It's always like the T7, the Tenere, or the, like these other bikes, V-Strongs, whatever, but no one really seems to take the Trans Alp off. I'll give it a good go over Salter Fell, and he's gone out on it, and I enjoyed editing that so much, because he is so happy and so psyched, and just living his best life and doing crazy Mike stuff. And it's just been a joy to edit. So I think I've got a Sport Pillin 801 review that he's rode. He rode the Gorilla 450 for me. He's ridden I think he's going to take out the MV Augusta 800RR, hopefully before it goes back soon. And then he's been doing this off-roading stuff, and I've got so many videos now. I've loved editing it. So yeah, Mike, when I go riding with Lily and stuff like that, I think he's actually grateful that he gets a break from this. Like, we've been together a long ass time now. Like, oh gosh, 2013 we got together. So it's like 10 years just over. Yeah. So he loves getting rid of me. He's like starfishing in the bed. Letting it all hang out. He's living his best life. So yeah, we can definitely be apart from each other. It's not a problem.
Is he full-time on Twitch now as well?
So this is the thing. When I went full-time, we both got ourselves in a financial position where if it didn't pick up straight away, we didn't have to panic and jump into another job.
Yeah.
We've been really sensible over lockdown. It's quite funny because I watched the video back just to see, where I was back then. In the last Bru Time, my routes were dreadful. They were lockdown routes, I'll have you know.
Mine too.
I'm back. But gosh, I forgot where I was going with this. Where was I going with
Mike going full-time on Twitch.
Right, yes. So yeah, that's it. We made a nice little financial blanket. So we live very modestly, very frugally. We don't spend anything that we don't need to. Like, we're so tight, but it paid off, because it meant that Mike has always grafted for years and years and years. He was a tyre fitter for ages. He'd come back like black. And I just thought, you know what, you've grafted so hard, like, have a little bit of time off, because he was in between jobs. He didn't like his job as, I think it was like a bus driver. He just couldn't deal with the management shit. Like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And he's like, well, that doesn't make sense. And it didn't work for him. So I'm like, right, you have a little break for a bit. You've earned it. So he's like, great. So he's playing doing his video games and stuff like that. But he's helping me as well, whilst I'm trying to set up and establish myself like full time. So he's doing all the logistics. He's doing so much behind the scenes. People don't actually realize that UsernameKate is pretty much Kate and Mike, because we do it all together. Obviously, like, I'm the face of it because I'm the one that rambles to the camera and stuff. But Mike does that much. He does like logistics. He's riding the bikes as well. He's giving his opinion, everything like that. So when he wasn't helping me, when he wasn't like, oh, we don't need a bike picking up today, he was gaming. And then he thought, why don't I start streaming and try and make a go of this at like as my own social media like entity? Like, why not try? And he tried, and it picked up. It snowballed. Like people really liked him, and now his streaming is flying. He'll do 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday. 8 hours in front of a computer, talking like this, engaging. Wow, everything's wild. He's getting sound alerts, bang, bang, bang through his headset. Like people will pay like £2 to like mag dump his guns on screen so he's got no ammo and like shit him up in the process. And literally he's thriving on there. So
wow.
So he still has me and UsernameKate as a priority, like if the bikes need to go back and stuff like that. He will sort that out. He's very, very good like that. But then when he's not doing anything like that, he's trying to grow his own community, and he's got a massive community on Discord. He says he started it, but he doesn't see it as his community. He sees it as everyone's, and everyone's welcome. And he's just thriving on there. And I love to see it, because Mike's one of these people that he's hard to employ because he's black and white. And if something's management tell him to do something and it's not right morally, he will just dig his heels in. He ain't doing it. And that doesn't go down well. And that consequently, makes you not very liked by management if you don't do these things that are compromising.
It's no bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but it does make staying employed quite difficult.
100%. Yeah, I get
so
that.
now he's doing it for himself. Like, I love seeing it, and I'm so proud of him. If you guys do go on Twitch and you do watch gaming, he plays a survival game called Tarkov, but he is always playing my videos like before they've come out. There's a lot of behind the scenes gossip that he, gives, so that it's quite bike related as well. And he's got a lot of bikers that, watch him, and it's more about him chatting with who's there as opposed to actual like the gameplay. So if you're ever on Twitch, it's Mike Pye, just Mike Pye, Pye.
Kate, I have never felt as old as I do right now.
I feel old. I don't understand it fully,
Twitch,
but I support it.
Discord,
I rate it.
What? Wow.
Bruce, it goes over my head, but I'm just so glad that it's working for him and that he's thriving in his own right. And it's brought him out of his shell, like, because Mike's quite a quiet and antisocial kind of guy, but doing the Twitch stuff and this live streaming, honestly, he's like a different guy, and I feel like it's really benefited him. So yeah, I'm mega proud of him. And I will sing his praises from the rooftops because I think he is the best.
Mint. I'll folks, whatever Kate just said there about Twitch and stuff, I'll leave those. I know what.
Yeah, not like a Twitch.
I'll leave all those links down below. So make sure you check them out for us.
Yes, please do. But and just one thing to add, sorry, Bruce. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to him for free, which doesn't cost you anything. You just renew it every month. It doesn't like then take money out of your account or anything. It literally is just a free thing to do, where he'll get like a couple of quid per month, and it just helps keep the electric on.
Oh, well, I'm Amazon Prime. I'll do that then.
Oh yeah, if you could do it, that would really, really help the household, and it's just a way that you can help if you want to.
Well, folks, why wouldn't we? If you've got Amazon Prime, there'll be a link in the description. Make sure
Thank you so
give
much, Bruce, for including that. I really appreciate it.
No worries at all. Cheers for that one, Dave. Next one, Patrick Collum. Evening both. First question. What's your favourite chocolate bar or go-to packet of sweets? Second, worst habit and why so hard to kick it? Favourite chocolate bar packet
They're
of
linked
sweets.
for me. They're linked. Them two questions are wholly linked. Favourite sweet, blind saucers. I'm like a 2-year-old. I freaking love them. I'm addicted. They still do them? They still do them. They do them in vats on Amazon. Don't ask me how I know. And what was the second question?
What's your worst habit and why is it so hard to kick it?
Addicted to sugar.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to kick it because it's just sugar. It's just so nice. And I really wish I had more self-control. How I haven't got diabetes yet, I don't know. Like, I must be riding that wave, like dicing with it.
I must have it. But I won't. I don't go and get tested. But I must have it.
Are you like a sweet fiend?
Oh, God, yeah.
Maybe Victoria Sponge Big Hunts isn't a good idea.
I can go months without like chocolate and sweet stuff. No problem. I can. It's fine. I can go without that. But when I do, I binge.
Yeah.
Oh
Can't
yeah,
stop.
no problem.
I'm literally like a crackhead. Like
yeah. Peanut M&Ms. That's my crack cocaine.
I love that for you.
Again, Amazon, you can buy 1 kilogram bags of peanut M&Ms.
Amazon is lethal.
Just sit at my desk and order shit from Amazon and it arrives. And I can sit and I can demolish.
From Amazon.
Oh.
They message me like, do you need a business account?
Yeah.
Or do you just need therapy? Do you need rehab for this Amazon? It's like, sorry, it's just all the sweets.
My wife thinks it's companies sending me stuff for free. Oh, you got another package. I was like, it's just me. I'm just buying shit. Shiny. I love that. Shiny. I just bought that.
I'm jealous.
Action 5. Just like bloody, I can't remember. Oh, it's ridiculous. Can't even remember how much that was. I bought something on the credit card and then this came out and it was like, bought. Oh no, bought that on the credit card.
It's just expensive, Bruce.
Well, it is.
Reinvesting in the channel, Bruce.
That's
how I justify it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've got the new Hero 13 sat there as well. I just bought that.
Damn.
And then this got launched. So I have to try them and see what they're like. Who knows?
For sure.
Have you managed to sort out your do you have audio woes on your motovlog
Not
setup?
Not anymore.
Go on, how have you fixed it?
I've fixed it with an external recorder and a Sennheiser MKE microphone.
Yeah.
It's quite an expensive setup, so it better bloody be as good as I think it is. But that, for me, is the best solution I've found now.
What about when you do stuff, say you're doing stuff with Lily, Duke of Blonde, is her audio from her cameras or are you recording in the comms chat?
I'm not even doing anything. Like, it's just what's picked up from my speakers.
Right.
So sometimes I need subtitles, but I've just bought a second external microphone that she can run so that we've got both audio in future.
Yeah.
And she'll just have to use one of my Purple Panda microphones because I can't justify two Sennheisers that
got you.
Well, one will only really get used. So
I just did that on my last couple of vids actually. On the French Alps tour I did it, and on I think that BMW automatic, the ASA recording
so
I did.
What did you do, sorry, with it?
So I've got
external or
Yeah, I've got my normal setup. So I have a lav mic in the lid, and then I have just a couple of extra cables that go from.
I saw that setup. That looks very good.
Yeah. So that terminates in one output, which is a stereo output. So that there's stereo audio. And my lav mic is, say, on the left channel, and the comms chat will be on the right, or vice versa. And then I just plug that into an external sound recorder, but it has to be a stereo sound recorder because first off, I bought that Zoom H2, the Bluetooth sound recorder.
That I have that Zoom FT something.
Yeah, well, it's not the Bluetooth stereo.
One.
Yeah, it's only mono. It's not stereo. So when you plug that in, it only takes one channel. So you'll either get the comms chat or the lav mic, whichever's the strongest one. So thankfully, I have an old Zoom H1 external recorder, and that's where is it? Got it somewhere. It's just a tiny little wee thing, but that's stereo, so that records everything. So I've been doing that, but I've not edited those videos yet. But it just means that
it's like the moment of truth, isn't it?
Yeah. But
when you do a trip and you listen to the audio, like, please work. Yeah.
But the trouble is, the audio's constant, isn't it? The audio is just hours of it.
I like that, though. I like it.
How is that editing then? Is it not?
I find it hard to edit? No, because like I'll be talking all the way through. So when I'm not recording, say like I've pressed record, I'm on the bike, I'm vlogging, blah, blah, blah. I jump off the bike. I'll just say, I've got off the bike now. I'm going in for a coffee. And then I'll put my helmet back on. Right, I'm getting back on the bike now. I'm at this location. So that when I'm listening, I'm like, okay, well, that's going to marry up there. So I don't find it too bad. But that's because I talk to myself anyway. So I'm always just rabbiting on about where I am, what I'm looking at the time, so that I can always find it very easy.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I do that. I do chat away to myself with a view to the edit when the edit's coming, and that
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
this will probably just be montage, and
Yeah.
then
I will say that like as I'm riding along, I'm like, this will probably just be maybe sped up, or you could do
yeah,
this, or you could do that. And I'm like,
yeah,
and then when I'm listening to it back, I'm like, oh, past Kate was quite switched on there. That's a good
yeah,
idea. I would have
yeah,
forgot
yeah,
about that.
yeah. Yeah, well,
So
I've
yeah, for
not
sure.
edited those vids yet, so it's going to be quite a while. I'll probably do
Mm,
the ASA one fairly soon, just because it's quite
yeah,
topical, isn't it? But
for
I
sure.
think that might be the final nail in my BMW coffin. I think when I do that vid, we'll
Oh
see.
no.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, well, never mind.
Oh no.
Um, yeah, worst habit for me. Worst habit to kick.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that question because we just go off
Yeah,
on a tangent.
I know. Yeah.
So easy.
Peanut M and M's. They're probably my
Mhm.
biggest crack, and my
Yeah.
worst habit. I think I'm a control freak.
Hmm.
I think I can't. I need somebody else here to help with some of the editing. I had my son helping with some of it, but it's just not his cup of tea. He doesn't want to do it anymore.
But do you
Um,
know what? I feel like it's hard for what we do
yeah,
to give that trust to somebody
yeah,
because of course we're not angels, everyone's human. There are times when we're going to be going a little bit over the speed limit like
yeah,
it, but you're trusting some random person with that sometimes incriminating footage.
hmm
You don't want them to edit in the time that you might have misjudged an overtake and you've
yeah,
just come in just as that solid started and you think I could have got away with that, but I won't put it in because I don't want to get the angry Nigels and Daves shouting at me. So I won't put that in, but then the editor might not ride a motorbike or might
yeah,
be young and doesn't have the experience where they think, no, that's bad. And then they do it. And then I know you can review it, but then you've got to review it and send it back. And I also worry that people will edit out the bits that I find funny and like
yep,
the bits of my personality that I want to show and
yeah.
then make me really boring in my eyes.
Mm.
And then I'll just lose my identity because I've let that control go. And you'll be in the exact same boat because
Yep.
it's a personal brand. You are TeapotOne. I am UsernameKate. We are not just today we're reviewing this mug. This has this features, this
Mm.
features, this features that can be edited very easy. Like we're on the go. It's our sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's so many things that I just can't let it go. And it would probably help me make more money if I could let it go, but I can't let it go. It's
Yeah.
like spend to accumulate, pay an editor, get them to do something so you can put more out, but then I just can't let it go. It's a problem.
That's exactly where I'm at with it. It's just I think the editing side of it is just gonna have to be down to me. But then it's all the other parts of being self-employed, like the admin side of it. And I have a tour
Oh
company
God.
now as well. So, when that come
Yeah.
October, when we launch next year's tours, that's if anything like the last 2 years or anything to go by, then it's just going to be chaos for a couple of weeks with all the invoices that need to be
I don't
shipped
think
out.
I'm bright enough to be able to do something like that. So props to you. I don't
Sure.
think I would. I don't think I'd understand what I'd need to be doing. Do you know what I mean?
It's easy.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's the as long as you've got an organized mind, as long as you have a logical mind with things, then there's nothing to it. You can organize a trip yourself, can't you? If you want to go away somewhere,
Yeah.
well, you can figure out your route, you can figure out logistics, like where's the hotel, figure out a hotel where you're going to stay, book your room. Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
need fuel through the day, all stuff like that. The difference with when you're doing customer tours is you can't wing it. When you're away
Yeah.
yourself, you're not planning, right, where exactly am I going to get fuel? Where exactly are we going to stop for coffee or lunches? When you've got
Yeah.
punters away with you, paying punters, you at least need to have an idea in
Got
your
to be
head.
on
Okay,
it.
yeah, if this place is shut, then we'll go here, that kind of
Yes.
thing. And then
Yeah.
sadly, as we found out this year, accidents do happen, and
Of
there's all
course.
that side of it when that happens. So, which will happen. If we take 15 people away at a time, and we're doing 7-8 tours a year. So we have had accidents. Nothing as bad or serious, sadly, as the fatality with Jeremy. But it's just one of these things. It's life, can happen. But it's all that you have to deal with as well, I suppose. But It's part of life, innit? It's part of life, part of business. Just deal with it.
True. And sorry to pry, like you can tell me, no, I'm not comfortable saying that. For you doing like full-time YouTube, would you say like the tours is how you sustain being able to do YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
You would, yeah.
Tours and Patreon. I am so lucky that I have.
Yeah, you have a good really, core community base that love the bones off you.
Yeah, I've got a good, healthy, loyal group on Patreon, and Patreon was paying my mortgage. The tours, basically, the tours allow me to buy these toys. You know, like I've got a bit of cash that I can then go and do stuff like this, reinvest it back into the business, as you say. But yeah, you know, I without them, there's no way I could do this full time. I think my YouTube paycheck this month was about 170 quid. So,
no.
Yeah.
Chill. Yeah. You're pulling my leg, right?
No, about 170. I think normally, up until the last couple of months, normally it's about 500-600 quid. So it's fuel money, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the most I've ever earned off of YouTube in a month is about 1,100 quid. My biggest ever. Yeah. I don't get big views. So
it's funny, isn't it? Because people think that you become like a millionaire off YouTube. Little do they know.
Oh, I know, yeah. It's everything else. It's merch. It's diversifying your income. You need to have multiple income streams because you can't rely on any one, can you? You know, if COVID happens again, Christ, you know, sponsors pull like that. There's no...
Exactly.
Well, like, there's no loyalty, but people look after their own business.
Business, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I fully expect that the day might come where I might have to just jump into a job. And if it comes, it comes. And I'll roll with the punches because I'm an adaptable bitch. I'm like a cockroach. I'll just do it. I'll do what I have to do. Respectfully to myself. If I need to clean toilets, I'll be cleaning toilets. Like, I'll just do what I got to do to pay the mortgage. Like, I'm not fussy or, precious about anything. But I do try and like kind of not have all my eggs in one basket. It's like you say, you've got to diversify the little trickly streams that come in, and I'm always trying to find ways to work with people, and it's very hard to do in this game because people will then judge you like, well, you're being paid to say something good about something, and it's very hard to balance it. Like now I work a lot with dealers, and like I work with Halliwell Jones, BMW, I work with Paddock Motorcycles, Yamaha, I work with KD Motorcycles, and I say to them, like, when we work together, this is not guaranteeing you a good review on any of these bikes. I'm going to say the good things and I'm going to say the bad things. And if that doesn't sit well with you, then we're not compatible.
Yep.
But thankfully, they've all said, no, we understand that you have to be authentic and true to yourself and true to your audience. And I said, look, it will, if I give bad points about these bikes, it will benefit you in the long run because people will trust me because I'm actually saying what I don't like.
Yeah.
And then, it's just a better way to exist and a better way to be. And I can sleep better at night, which is kind of what I'm bothered about. So they accept that's a term of when I work with them, but quite understandably, you do get people like, oh, well, you've just said you've teamed up with Paddock Motorcycles or KD, so we know where this review is going. It's going to be biased, and I understand the degrees of skepticism. You have to because there are so many influencers out there that are disingenuous that will like try and pull the wool over your eyes for their own like pocket. But if I know who I am at the end of the day, I sleep soundly. I know that I try and do things the correct way, and the people that learn that about me and trust that I am who I say I am, and the people that I get the community with, as long as they're happy with what I'm doing. And, the nice ones are, they want to see me, be able to carry on doing this for a living. They want to see me be able to put food on the table, and they're just really nice and supportive, and they get entertainment out of it or maybe a bit of information. And they're just like the nice people that really like keep me going. But I do understand the skepticism. I get it because you have to be.
It's human nature, isn't it?
Human nature, and I'll get it, and that's fine. If I'm not for you because I've chosen to do that, then that's fine. You don't have to watch me. There's millions of other people you can watch, and that's fine. I won't take it personally.
I think companies and brands these days, they seem to be much more aware of the integrity and the honesty side of things
It's
in terms
everything.
of. Yeah, as you said there, they know that we need to be open and honest about what we chat about, because once you lose that integrity, you're foobarred, you're done then.
Mm.
So most of them tend to be. I find that they seem to be fine about these sort of things. I just had Insta 360. They wanted me to have like an exclusivity deal with them, so I only used their kit. But I don't like doing that, because I like to have the option to, oh well, this
it's
looks like it's
nice
going to
to
be
have the options.
yeah. So you have to be respectful in declining stuff like that. But I had to say no. I'd like to stay open and blah blah.
Yeah.
And they were fine about it. They were like, yeah, no, totally understand, fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just weird. I do find some PR companies, particularly in the bike world, they just, I don't know, they don't like criticism. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my unique way of the.
Do you know that the way I see
how I'm
it,
critical? Maybe that's what it is.
the thing is, if I say something bad about a bike, someone will probably want to take it out and see for themselves, and then they might not have the criticisms that I have, and they might love it and buy it. But even though I criticised them, I got that person thinking about that bike, and they test rode it, and they didn't agree with me, and they bought it. So it's like to say, like, any publicity is good publicity, even 100%. If it's not great. Like with Halliwell Jones, I reviewed the M1000XR for them, and I'm pretty sure I ended my summary with, this is a bike that's designed to be like a bit of a hyper tourer. It's based on the XR platform. Would I tour on it? Absolutely not. I wouldn't be able to cope with the vibrations. So I ended that saying this touring bike would not be good touring for me, because I couldn't cope with the vibes. Like, I don't think you could kind of get worse than saying that a touring bike, you don't think it'll be good at touring. But they don't take it personally. It's just my opinion at the end of the day. There's plenty happy M1000XR owners out there that don't share my gripes.
I always say to people as well, it's like, this is my opinion. Opinion. You try it and see what you think. Go test ride
yourself. Yeah.
As you said, my black can be your white. Just try it. See.
Exactly. We're just Kate, all so different.
Absolutely. We are nearly 2 hours in, and we haven't finished Patreon yet.
Well, I'm fresh as daisy.
Right, okay. In that case,
I'm ready for war.
Right.
Although I might need a toilet break in a little bit, just because I've smashed through the water.
Don't worry.
I don't want to. I mean, I should have put a diaper on before we start, because you can't see the bottom half. Just turn the mic
torture.
off.
Hopefully this is not torture. You don't, just tell me when you need. We've got 3 more questions on Patreon, and then we can do a little break if you need, and move over to like Facebook. Right,
I've
next
got 3
one.
questions in us, but at this rate, it might take an hour for 3 questions.
Next one, Rebecca Christie. Hi both. Hope the vertigo has Foxtrot Oscared Kate. Such an evil affliction. Kate, what got you into bikes? Oh, we covered this last time, didn't we?
We did. My pops used to pick me up from high school, and just felt like the little baddest kid hopping on the back of the GS, like, so long, suckers! Like, literally just felt so cool. And then when I turned 16, Dad was like, why don't you get some road experience and get a moped? And I'm like, I can get a moped. And he's like, yeah. So I got a moped, and then it just went from there, really. Just the dad influence.
Awesome. So
I feel like a lot of people have a dad influence, don't they? Usually. So.
Well, like my dad kept it quiet from me that he used to have a motorbike. I literally only found this out within the last 10 years or so.
Really?
Yeah. All growing up, it was just motorbikes are dangerous. Excuse me, motorbikes are bad. You're not having a bike. So although I loved them, I remember seeing them on the telly, and they were just never on my radar, because it was like, well, I'm never going to get one of them. So, when I'm older, I'll do it. And that was that. But yeah, they eventually got through, and it happened. But yeah, growing up was awesome. Just no. And then as soon as I started riding bikes, my dad was like, "Oh, I used to have one. I used to have a Douglas."
And you were like, "Did you?"
Yeah, and I was like, "What?" So I would love to take my dad out on the back or something, like go and get a Goldwing or maybe even a sidecar, and you just pick my dad up and take my dad out on the bike. He's 83 now, but I'm sure he would love it. If he could get on, if he could get on the back, I'm sure he would love it. Another question from Rebecca. She says, question for both. Oh, we just kind of spoke about this. If YouTube disappeared tomorrow, what are you both going to do instead? Keep up the good work. See you out there soon.
I feel like something with bikes would naturally be something that I would do. Maybe I could be a rep for somewhere and travel around the country and speak to dealerships. Maybe I could go back into bike sales. But to be honest, I don't, now that I've done my own thing for a bit, I just don't know, looking back, whether I'd be cut out for it, because the burnout was unreal in bike sales, like mental breakdown, like not being able to sleep, waking up in the middle of the night going, oh, you haven't sorted out Mrs. Smith's bike, you didn't put the order in. And then I'm writing it down, Mrs. Smith, and then I'm thinking, I don't even have a Mrs. Smith on the go. Like, where's that come from? Like, my brain would just create these scenarios to panic me in the middle of the night, and it would keep me up, and I'd have to write everything down. Yeah. To the point, Bruce, you're going to think I'm mad for this. I hated horror films. They frightened the hell out of me. I would watch Poltergeist. I would watch Paranormal Activity to scare the life out of me, so that's all my brain could think about before I went to bed. To not think about work. Like, that's not healthy, right?
No, that isn't.
But now I'm so freaking desensitized to horrors, and I used to really enjoy like being scared. And now I'm just like, oh yeah, another poltergeist pulling someone off the bed. Ooh. Do you know what I mean?
Decapitation.
But honestly, like, that's not healthy, and it's the pressure of spinning all the plates. Like, some months I'd have I think my best month once I sold 33 bikes in 1 month.
Jeez.
So that's like works out at more than one a day. And when these are all different people and they're all in different, oh, you're a cash sale, oh, you're finance, you've got a part exchange, it's got existing finance on it. Okay, how am I going to do that? Right, you have to get that settlement letter. Shit, did I ask that guy for the settlement letter? No, I didn't. Right, I've got to write that down. And there's just so much. And then you've got people ringing up, they've got a complaint, ringing up, I want to add this to my order, ringing up, actually, can I put more of a deposit down? Right, I've got to go into the finance system and change the whole thing. It was boom. And like, I go into Halliwell Jones sometimes, like when I'm picking a bike up and stuff, and I look at the guys working and I'm like, props to you guys, because I don't think I could do it again. And I've got such a respect for them, because people don't realise how stressful that job is. And you're just trying to be a nice person, you're trying not to snap, but there's something's got to give. And for me, it was not sleeping, it was waking up in the middle of the night, it was going behind the vans at work to rock backwards and forwards to just cry and then come back in and crack on like nothing had gone on. It was a lot. Yeah.
Gee whiz.
But I couldn't complain, because I'd never earned so much in my life. And that sounds like I'm being big-headed. It's not. I've never ever earned much ever in my life, because I always, I don't know, I just took jobs and they never paid very well. And then I got in sales, and like, yes, I'm commission based. So, you know, my drive can be the difference between a sick month and a terrible one. And it's on me. So I've got to do what I can. But then having a YouTube at the same time, doing BMW content, because I was reviewing the demos, and people would see that and, oh, I want Kate to deal with me. So then they come in, and then that's another person that's come to you, which I'm grateful for. But then it's also another plate to spin, and it was just wild. I don't think it was sustainable. I think I had a nervous breakdown. Well, I did, but worse so. Probably have to check into rehab or something.
You don't think about that, do you? Like, a lot of people just look at people that work in the bike dealerships and just think, oh, you know, you must have the. I know they don't, because obviously speaking with you and other people that I've met in that industry, you know, people just think, oh, you've got the best job in the world. But when you speak to them,
you do when you get to go home at the end of the day on a demo bike. Yeah, but it's everything. It's that 8 hours in between rocking up to work on the demo bike and leaving on it.
Yeah.
And they were saying, like, worth it.
And they said they've never ridden as little as they did working in the bike industry, because they were like, you Yeah, you're always at work. You never really
You're
get the
always
opportunity to
selling.
go away on a bike. Yeah.
You're
What about
always problem solving.
okay? So if motorbikes ended tomorrow on YouTube, would you go to a different niche within YouTube? Is there anything else that
Possibly.
appeals?
Yeah, I love like traveling. Like, even if it wasn't with a bike, I'm sure I'd like to think that. I mean, I don't think a whole 90,000 people would follow me as I moved over to something else, but I like to think that I could give it a go. Something else. What? I don't know. I'd figure it out. But yeah, I could always try. But I think we're going off if YouTube ever just ceased to exist, I guess, then I wouldn't be able to jump to a different niche because my whole platform would be gone.
Well, then what are your thoughts about, everything seems to be going video based now, doesn't it? Instagram is now Reels, Facebook is trying and not really succeeding with Reels. You got TikTok. God, what else is there? Well, you got the YouTube Shorts, but that's YouTube. Like, can you see anything else? I just don't. I don't see another rival really for YouTube in terms of long form content. There's Rumble, but I mean it's minuscule compared.
I feel like that's mainly for like conspiracy theorists to put that stuff on and not be worried about demonetization or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but no, I don't think there's anything like it really.
No, at the moment, no. So it's hard to see it disappearing, isn't it? But it could happen. Yeah. I suppose it could happen. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm banking on it not.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like, please don't.
Please don't. I think something catastrophic would have to happen, like a whole internet world blackout, and it never come on again for it to do. But what are the chances of that happening?
Yeah, and then I think we'd all have way more serious issues to be dealing with.
Bigger fish to fry.
Everyone's going to be in the same boat, aren't they? Yeah.
Exactly.
It'll be pitchforks. Anyway, cheers for that, Rebecca. Next one, Brett Cunningham. Hi all, hope you're feeling better, Kate.
Hi,
one
Brett.
Question after riding the new 1300 GS. Would you consider one, and would it be the Adventure or the new 1390 Super Duke from KTM? Or what bike are you thinking of after your trusty GS goes? Hope you're well and ride safe to you both.
Right. Obviously, the dream for me would be that 1390 Super Duke if I could justify it, which I can't. I can't justify a 1250 GS, never mind a 1300. My finance is up in March on my bike, so I'm currently trying to flog it and sell it. Am I sad about it? Yes and no. Yes, because I really, really do like it and I love riding it and it's just a big comfy armchair. But then now I think if I want to ride a bike, I'd like to think I've built the relationships to if I want to scratch the GS itch, I can nip to Halliwell Jones and, do a vlog for them, get out on it, thrash it around some country lanes, scratch the itch. Can take my dad's bike out if I want to do any trips. He said, you're welcome to take it out, which is very kind of him. So the fact that Beatrix or Big B just sits in the garage collecting dust and taking up space to see the light of day once every blue moon, I can't justify paying off the finance and keeping it.
Yeah.
So again, I know people would love to see a Super Duke for the channel or a 1300 for the channel, because they're exciting bikes, they're new bikes, they're topical bikes, people like them. But from a business perspective and working towards my high goal perspective, ultimately I'd love to have a farmhouse somewhere. Maybe I'm dreaming too big, I don't know, but you can always dream. I'd love a farmhouse in Yorkshire or North Wales. For me, I'm I just dream of those barn conversions with the big windows and they let all the light in. And that's my dream. I need to work to something and that's kind of it. So if I didn't have that dream, then maybe I could get a Super Duke, but I can't justify it because I've got bigger fish to fry. So honestly, it's no secret I put out a video where I'm thinking about getting a GSX 8R because I bonded with that bike so well. I love it a lot. And people are just why? And I'm I don't know, I just love it. So that's potentially on the cards. But also maybe a smaller, cheaper adventure bike that Mike can just take off-roading. I can off-road on it comfortably because it's a bit smaller than the GS. Maybe get something like a manufacturer X press bike or press fleet.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they might have had the knackers ragged off them. But if I can get them cheap enough that I'm not going to suffer huge amounts of depreciation in the future, if I can at least break even if I do come to sell them, then that's the smarter business decision. And that's what I'm trying to go for. So I think there's going to be a small adventure bike on the cards. And I think I know what it is, but I've got to leave something, you know? I've got to
I want to say a bike.
Surprises.
I want to say a bike, but I don't want to piss on your chips, so to speak.
Oh, no, let's go for it. Because even if you're right, I'll just play dumb.
Have you ridden the new Vogue? The Vogue, is it 900 or 800?
Haven't.
Is it Vogue or Vogue? Yeah.
Vogue. I was invited to the same event you were invited to.
Yeah.
But I couldn't make it because I was like, ooh. So, yeah, that looks a fantastic package. Fantastic.
I don't normally do these press things, but Luke called about it. And I was like, right, okay, let's go for it. And I was on my way up there and
I know.
I couldn't stay awake. I just couldn't stay awake. It's like, this is ridiculous.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah. I'd not long back from a tour and I think I was just done in. So it's like, yeah. So I just had to
That's another thing that people don't see. The burnout, it is exhausting doing long tours, constantly, big miles all the time. Like it is just tiring.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Woe is me playing the violin and everything. You're living the dream, you know. You're having a great time. Sure. You're riding bikes and the best roads going with great company, and you know you're eating and drinking in the evening. But yeah, it's tiring. It's tiring.
We're only human.
And I'm old, you know, I'm getting old now. So it's like, you know.
I struggle at 33, so God knows how you feel, Bruce.
Yeah, I know, 94. Yeah,
oh, gosh.
Right, last one of the Patreon questions. Chris Rogers. How you doing, Chris?
Hi, Chris.
When you this is good. When you nearly got reversed into at the Asda petrol station the other day, did you go and have a word with the driver? Is that the closest you've ever been to damaging a borrowed bike? I couldn't believe that when it happened.
Wait, is that the closest I've got to damaging
a borrowed bike?
A borrowed bike. I literally sent one to the moon at Almeria. I don't think it can get worse than that.
Oh, yes.
I literally wrote off a BMW. No. But you know what? I thought in 1 month selling BMWs, I brought in £660,000 worth of revenue for the dealership in 1 month of June. So you can let me off my little whoopsie, please.
Seriously? Holy crap. Wow.
I was smashing it.
That's phenomenal.
Hence the nervous breakdowns.
Yeah.
Not profit, but revenue, just sales of bikes.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. So I thought you can let me off this one, whoopsie, all right?
Yeah, we'll let that one slide, I thought, yeah.
Please let it just slide. But no, that was a heart-sinking moment because I was like, no. I thought I was literally going to get just smushed against the Civic, and then I thought that was going to go over and I was going to go over and it was going to crush me. But thankfully Lily was there like, stop. And she finally stopped. So yeah, that was pretty, that made me feel a bit sick. But no, I didn't have a word with her. I'm so zen. Honestly, I don't know.
It's the mic influence.
It's the mic influence. I used to be a little rage head, a little stress head, honestly. I had rage, anger issues as a teenager. Yeah. I was not a great person. And again, that's something Mike's ironed out of me. And now I'm so zen, I'm so chill. You wouldn't think I've got an angry bone in my body. But no, I was just like, Christ almighty, and then just crack on with my day. If she'd have hit me, I'd have had something to say. But
had she just not seen you? She just not looked in the mirrors?
She didn't look.
Wow.
But when she pulled up, we were right. We were there.
Yeah.
And then next thing, someone's not there. So engage brain. They're somewhere. Please look.
I thought you were dropping the bike when I first saw it, and I could hear you going, no. I thought, oh God, are you going to drop the bike?
Yeah.
And then it dawned that the lady was reversing into you.
Yeah, because from that angle of the camera, you can see she's like that close.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt sick. But it did make me shake a little bit. But yeah, no, I didn't have a word with her. People said oh, you're way more calm than I would have been. I'm just very good at letting things go quite quickly.
Aye. Yeah. And it's
Maybe
weird, isn't
smell
it?
it out.
People always say, "Oh, I would have done this, I would have done that," and you're like, "Yeah, you probably wouldn't have, would you?" 9 times out of 10, people wouldn't have.
To be fair, if I was a random person and got a death stare from Lily, she's so good at them. Like I wouldn't need any more telling off. I'd just be like, oh, okay, like that would be enough to make me feel so bad for the rest of the week. So yeah, one death stare from Lily was all it took.
Right, that's Patreon done and dusted. That is 2 hours, 10 minutes. That's all right.
Well, thank you, Bruce's patrons. I appreciate
Cheers,
the
clan.
questions.
You never let me down every week. Thank you for that. Right, we'll move
Legends.
on to Facebook. Do we need a break?
Yes, please.
No problem.
Just a toilet break.
We'll
right,
see
I'm
you
going to turn the
shortly,
microphone off. So there's
yeah,
no,
please do.
No waterfall soundtracks. Okay, I'll be right back.
See you in a bit.
Had the world's longest wee.
And we're
Literally,
back.
Yeah, sorry. Too much info.
Welcome,
I'm an oversharer.
Right, we'll go to Facebook this time. I normally go Instagram and we always end up running out of time for Facebook. So let's do Facebook first.
Yes.
I've got that set to got it set to most relevant. Let's get it on to all comments. Right, Chris Ainley.
Comments.
What is the highlight of her YouTube career and what is the next step? That's a good question.
Oh, okay. It's tricky. Like, obviously, a highlight is getting to ride so many bikes I would never have the opportunity to ride normally, under normal circumstances. Like, how can you complain about that? That's got to be a perk. Like, no battling with a dealership trying to test ride something that you're not going to end up buying. So then they're like, well, this girl's just going to waste my time. So you've got half an hour, love. Here's the keys. Like, none of that. Like, just getting to ride really cool bikes and also getting to ride really cool bikes in really cool locations and just being afforded the opportunities of things that like teenage Kate wouldn't even dream I could do.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll probably say that.
Feels like a dream sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, this is is this my life now? This is my life. Right. I'm getting away with this somehow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I think whenever I see Chad.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like king of the launches. Whenever I go on Twitter or X, whatever it's called nowadays, and I see Chad's stuff come up, I'm like, oh, another one. Oh, another one. Oh, he's in Spain again. Oh, wow, he's in Morocco. He's like, and I'm thinking people must think that about me because of like the launches and stuff. But I like to say that I agree to the launches because I ride in the most horrific UK weather so much constantly that, let me off, taking a nice jolly to Spain once in a while for a bit of heat in the bones.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yeah. You think that about Chad. I thought you were talking about Chopsy. Because I just look at Chopsy
as well.
He's constantly away somewhere, isn't he, on another launch?
He is.
Like, bloody hell. Tell me he can't do 2 nights to go away and do a big eat somewhere. Yeah.
He's just got to sort his priorities out, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, he said, Chris says, what is the next step? Well, we kind of briefly spoke about that earlier, didn't we?
Just keep on keeping on. I think that's all I can do, really.
Fair enough.
I touched on that briefly about maybe the strategy for hitting 100,000, how that might change, how it might look. But the truth is, I just don't know. I just assess what's popping on YouTube at the time, what seems to be the thing to do, try things until I get it right. And if I get it wrong, just keep trying. Yeah.
And you do need to find that balance between the work life and the personal life. Like if there's a distinction between the two, obviously you and Mike work, you work together, you work well together. You're both in similar sort of
the content creation space.
Yeah, you're content creators, aren't you? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whereas, myself and Nikki, my wife, she's a copper. She's got like a normal job and leads a normal life. But, I'm lucky. She just goes, look, just bugger off and do your thing. So it works. But I do sometimes think, right, we need to go and do something together because it's just separate a lot of the time, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, me and Mike will never go on a biking holiday without cameras. And that might seem sad, but also I like documenting it because then when I'm older, I can look back and be like, Mike, do you remember this holiday? And we can actually like relive it like we were there.
Yeah.
And I like that, even though there is a bit of a, compromise, the fact that you do have to keep swapping your cameras and stuff but when we just want a nice ride out, sometimes you will just jump on the bikes and go and ride. But if it's like a holiday, there'll always be cameras.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And there won't usually be a holiday that doesn't involve bikes, because we're not beachy people. Mm. We're not like relaxy people. We just like to be doing things. So, yeah.
You're just bloody perfect for each other, you two, aren't you?
Honestly. We are like yin and yang. Like he's brought me up where I need bringing up, and I brought him down where he needs bringing down. So we're quite good now.
Yeah, get you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next one, Colin Bez Berry. What are Kate's favourite biscuits? And will she have some if I come round for a brew?
Oh, Bez, you're always welcome for a brew. You know that. But I haven't got any biscuits in at the minute because Mike's on a bit of a health kick and I'm trying to follow suit. But my favourite biscuits, without a doubt, I'm literally obsessed. Again, this is like crack to me. I can inhale a whole packet dunked in a brew. Is Aldi's malted milk, but with chocolate on them.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
And I am partial to a Jaffa cake as well.
But they're not really biscuits, are they? They're just air. They're just sweet
Jaffa
air.
Cake. Yeah. Jaffa cake. I guess it's in the name.
We've had this topic, actually. This has come up in the podcast. Is a Jaffa cake a biscuit or a cake? Jeez. Yeah, highbrow.
Yeah.
Mine's chocolate hobnobs.
Combo. I do like hobnobs also.
I can't not eat the packet. If I open a packet, I eat the packet. Hence 20.5 stone.
Well, that used to be me with chocolate digestives, but I ate them so much as a child before school, dunked in a brew whilst I was watching Pokemon, that now my body's fully rejected digestives. So if I nibble on a chocolate digestive, my guts feel like someone's stabbing me. Like really bad reaction to it now. It's like too much of a good thing when I was younger, and now I can't even look at them without it being painful.
Do you know I'm a bit like that with exercise?
I feel that.
Makes me feel a bit crazy.
It's not bros. Right.
Cheers for that one, Bez. Next one, Craig Lowe. If she were to go into a room with everyone she's ever met, this is going to be a good question, I can tell. If she was to go into a room with everyone she's ever met, dead or alive, who would she seek out first? Oh, I love these type of questions.
Well, it would be very easy for me. It would just be like dead family members.
Yeah, me mum, straight away.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be. Because, like, without a second thought, like my granddads, my grandma, my cousin, her baby that didn't make it.
Oh.
I know, sucks. Yeah, like just family that have just passed. It has to be.
Yeah,
it has
absolutely.
to be. Like it, you could have the coolest celebrities there, but that won't matter.
No. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just so emotional now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, on. Craig's got another question. He said, if you could ask any one question and know you'd get the 100% clear, honest, truthful answer, who would she ask and what? Oh, these are good questions.
That's my life. That's my life. Mike is the most brutally honest guy ever.
Okay, then.
And that's just what I have to deal with. But at least I always know where I stand. And I know that if I've done shit, he'll tell me I've done shit. But that means that when I've done good and he praises something that I've done, I know I've done well because I've got to praise. But I remember on the track day, I came in when I first was on track and I was like, oh, Mike, I did so well at it. He was like, you did terrible. And I'm like, oh, excuse me. He's like, if you don't rev it on that back straight and I don't air it bounce off limits, I'm going home. I was like, no, go home. So then on the back straight, I was going, no. And then when I came back, he's like, you're actually revving it now. Congratulations. Now you are doing better. I was like, oh, thanks, Mike. So brutally honest, like no sugarcoating it. Oh, well done, participation prize, Kate. No,
yeah.
Kate, you're being dangerous. What you doing? I'm sorry, I'm trying. But then when I do it right, yeah, you did so good then. Oh, thanks, Mike. So
Jesus, I hope Mike never sees me ride a bike because I don't think I could take it. I'd be a blobbing mess in the corner.
He's brutally honest, honestly. He's borderline awkward at times.
So I just saw a third part from Craig here. He says, any decisions you made that you would have liked to now see what would have happened if you made a different decision?
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I guess like the obvious one for me would not have been going full time on YouTube and sticking out a job. But I know that it would have just led to misery because management change made the job unbearable for me.
Yeah.
So then maybe I could have got another job selling other bikes. But I don't know. I feel like in the UK, the dealerships that I've worked in previously, they've never quite had processes set up to make the selling job efficient and where I could be the best salesperson I could be. Then when I sold BMWs, I went to that dealership and the processes were pretty much perfect and it allowed me to excel and fly in sales. And then new management came in and all the processes got scrapped and changed. And then it just became what it was like at all the other dealers where I can't be the best I can be because the processes aren't helping me out.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like if I'd have just stuck in sales but maybe jumped ship to a different dealership, I don't think I would have ever been satisfied because I was at a dealership when it was at its pinnacle and its peak and its most efficient. And then I feel like I'd just be chasing my tail for all the dealerships trying to find one that was like that. And I just don't think they exist.
Yeah.
Maybe probably a life of unhappiness and overworked stress, probably.
Yeah. Maybe.
And now I've got a life of happiness, but still overworked stress. Still happy.
Change for change's sake, that used to really piss me off in the old bill. We used to see it all the time. You get a new head of department or somebody would be promoted into a position and everyone just wanted to stamp their, make their claim on whatever, the department, the group, the next, whatever
They've
it was.
They've got to show that they're improving and changing things.
There's never logic behind it,
No,
like used to wind me up. It was people making decisions based on no practical experience of the roles they were affecting. That's what really hacked me off. It's like, you've never done this fucking job, so how do you know what is best? Hated it. It
is the worst. Literally change for change sake, you're right.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
I do sometimes wonder. It
destroys so much good things.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It makes people leave, so you lose experience, you lose characters, you lose camaraderie. It makes people not enjoy the workplace. So again, that affects
morale.
Yeah, it affects everybody, doesn't it? And then it affects the end product you provide, doesn't it? Whether that's in sales or in the old bill or whatever it is. Because if you're not feeling it, if you're not enjoying it, you don't give your best to it, do you?
And that's why I went from being like one of the top salespeople to being scared to sell because I know that something would go wrong and it would land on my shoulders no matter how hard I tried. If I was doing things in the same way that I did when I was doing it successfully, because the processes didn't allow me to do it how I would do it and I had to do different things, I was scared to sell bikes because I knew that problems would come up and they'd land on my shoulders. And I didn't want to sell bikes anymore because it'd just be issue after issue. And that's unfortunately when I decided to take the leap.
And you never look back?
No, I'm happy for sure.
Good. Adrian Jones, question for both. If a piece of music has to be played every time you enter a room, what music is it and why would you pick it?
X gon' give it to you what? You best believe.
You've thought about this, haven't you?
I'm going to be walking in with swag.
Do you play that in your head whenever you walk in somewhere?
Yeah, for sure.
Worryingly, I have the old circus theme tune in my head a lot. That's genuinely, I have that playing in my head sometimes. It's just okay, yeah, pretty much sums things up. Winging it.
Love that.
I like it. Danny Daly. Should get this as a mobile podcast studio. All right, he's given a picture of the old TeapotOne.
Oh, I saw it. For
anyone that's not seen, TeapotOne is, I'm not sure if it still exists, but it was the call sign for the mobile catering truck in the Met Police. So it's like you imagine like an ice cream van, but it's got the police jam jar striped down the side of it. It's called TeapotOne.
That would be pretty cool to have that as a mobile.
It would actually,
studio.
Yeah, it would
that'd be a bit of a flex, to be honest.
Do you know when I first started doing this podcast, it was during COVID, but in my head I was always like, when normality comes back, then I'll just travel places on my bike with all the podcast stuff on the bike, and I'll do the podcast face to face with people, and I can make content on the way there, and then like say I came up to you, then we could go for a ride during the daytime, and do collabs and stuff, and then record the podcast in the evening. And it just hasn't worked out that way because I'm just so busy with everything else. It's like I haven't got the time to do that. Yeah,
you can have the best intentions and the best laid plans, but the reality of it is that it's just not feasible.
But they are so. I've done a few face to face, and they're so much better face to face because you haven't got this delay, so you're not like talking over people because you think they've finished, so you start talking, and then and you're like, oh, so yeah. Well, anyway, c'est la vie. Such is life. Maeve Doer for Kate. If she and her most featured riding bud, Lily, could do one road trip anywhere they like for any amount of time and money, what would they do and where would they go?
Oh, I think maybe America would be cool. Because I can see that'd be quite expensive. So if money's no option, then that would be pretty cool. On what bikes? Who knows? For me, probably like some kind of sporty naked. I just like that genre. I just find the most happiness on them.
Where would you go in the States?
Just like road trip, like all around the place.
Do you know how big America is?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've got no time limit or budget.
Good point.
Good point. We could just go out there for months on end.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. I love the States.
How was the Tail of the Dragon? I saw you do it.
The tail's brilliant. It is great fun, but
it's like crazy people like getting the knee down on it and stuff. And like
if you go weekends, then I would not touch it at weekends. If you can go during the week, it's much quieter, so you can really have some. And it's awesome. The twists and turns don't stop from when you finish to from when you start to when you finish. It's just, and it's the elevation changes. It's like a roller coaster. It's a proper quality bit of road.
Yeah, so maybe there. I wouldn't mind going back to Croatia. Those roads, like you could literally get Google Maps up, zoom in on Croatia, and it's like this. It's just squiggles.
Yeah. Did you do the Adriatic coast as well? Did you take up the coast roads in Croatia?
Did it? I don't think so.
That's good as well.
I'd remember something like that, wouldn't I? Because it'd be like the whole sea and stuff.
You would. It's stunning. It's beautiful. Yeah. Slovenia's got some real good roads as well. Some real quality roads there. Did you go and do the where you went to Lake Bled, didn't you? Because you fell over at Lake Bled, didn't you?
God,
that's funny. I'm glad you kept that in. That was really good. That
really hurt.
I bet it did.
My arm was dead.
Yeah, I bet.
Like when I was counter steering, I'm like, something don't feel right here. And it was because I couldn't put any force through my arm. So it made the hairpins quite interesting.
I sound so old when I say I'm only 47, but I do feel like I'm 74. But honestly, see, when you get to like definitely mid 40s, like everything hurts now. You don't bounce anymore.
No.
Like
I sound like I need oiling when I wake up in the morning.
Oh God, yeah. Trying to walk down the stairs first thing in the morning, like I need some sort of blooming oil.
Well, that's your first mistake, to be honest, Bruce, because I live in a bungalow. So you need the bungalow life,
I'm sure I will eventually at some point if I make it that far. But yeah,
you will.
What was I going to say? Right, Lake Bled in Slovenia. North of that, did Martin take you? I can't remember the name. It's a really, really famous road. It's a real zigzag road.
It begins with V.
Yeah, Visic Pass.
Yeah.
Did you do that with the cobbles on the
on the corners?
That's quality.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, the views are amazing.
Yeah, so good, insane.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun over there, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. And Martin's just mint. I had so much time for the man. He's a legend.
He wants to come on the podcast, and I'm like, I'd love to get you on here, but Martin has no filter.
No filter.
And I'm like,
no filter.
if we have
Will this do more harm than good?
Yeah, I'm like, don't know if there's a good idea. But he's such a lovely fella, but he just says exactly what he thinks.
But then you have the power of editing, right?
Well, it's true, but I like these just to be as authentic as literally hit record, hit stop. There's you have to tweak audio sometimes, and toilet breaks and stuff like that. You have to cut, but otherwise, it's just long form conversation, isn't it?
Yeah,
but I will get him on. I will get him on, but I think we'll have to cut it at an hour.
Yes, I think that will be safer for everyone.
I did the Balkan tour with them earlier this year, which is amazing. So I've got to edit that. I think they want that out around about November time.
Yeah, so I've got the same situation with Slovenia.
Have you? Yeah, start pushing it for next year. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So look for there'll be some content coming from our channels around that then.
Yes.
In the meantime, check out CanaryMotorcycleTours.com.
100%. Best tours. I know I'm sponsored, so I'm slightly biased. But literally, like, if I wasn't sponsored, I would be doing Gran Canaria in the winter because you need it in your life.
Have you been to Tenerife yet?
Not with those guys.
With them. Have you done Tenerife on a bike?
In a car.
All right. Yeah. Well, next time you go across to Canary Moto.
Yeah, they do the island hop, don't they?
Yeah, ask if they'll do that one with you. That's a lot of fun. TD is just insane. It's like it's one of the best hill climbs you'll do. It is just phenomenal. Yeah. Wow. I normally tour with Jose. We don't normally go with Martin now, because when I bring groups over, it's a big group of blokes and they want to crack on. So Martin deals with the civilized people and Jose gets the hooligans and off we go. So yeah, we had a proper run up TD. It was just amazing. Phenomenal road. Yeah, good fun.
Yeah. It was good in the car from memory, so I can imagine on a bike.
Yeah. Good over there. And each island's different as well. I've only done Tenerife and Gran Canaria, but apparently all the different islands have different sort of roads on there, different style of roads. So,
interesting.
Check them out. Next one, Matthew Bo Brown. Places in the world you want to ride a motorbike, but never been. And that's the one we just covered, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, Bo is a different.
Oh, no, yeah. It was Maeve Doer, but it's the same sort of question.
Yeah.
So
Himalayas, I'd like to do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I want to ride to base camp. That's what I would love to do.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, we'll crack on then. David Stevens. I always watch your reviews as Kate is the same height and leg size as me. All right, no questions, just saying that.
Oh,
James Jimmer Keddy. TeapotOne, you need a sidekick. Chopsy has Gregorio and UsernameKate now has Lily. Both are great additions to their channels. A sidekick. Sometimes I do think.
Somebody replied to this. If you look at the comments.
Oh, yeah. John Elvidge. All right. Oh, what's he said? James Kimmer. He's got Simon Weir. Yeah, very good. Cheers. Well, I suppose I do have Simon, don't I? Yeah. We do the tours all the time. If I can understand what he's saying, he mumbles. He's so softly spoken, Simon. Everyone thinks I'm like exaggerating, and then they meet him, and everyone's like, "What? What did he say?"
What is it? Bless him.
Jessica Oliver. I enjoy watching the girls' trips away. Such a lovely friendship group. Were you and Lily friends prior to motorcycling, or is motorcycling what brought you together?
Yeah, I think it was Instagram. I think we first met at Caffeine and Machine in something like 2019, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then she matched my freak, so to speak. She's just as weird as I am. So we got on like a house on fire. And just been friends ever since, really. But it was through bikes. It weren't like for anything else, because you meet a lot of like the influencer girls, and a lot of them are based down south. So you get like put in situations where you're all together at times through different meetups and stuff like that. And just kind of gravitate to the good ones like Lily and Lucia. So.
It's cool, isn't it? The way this whole little niche, you sort of just meet up. That's how like Chopsy and Rich and TMF, that's how we met up initially. It was just through pretty much YouTube at the time. I don't think any of us we weren't really paying attention to like Facebook and Instagram much at the time. So it was all just through YouTube. And great bunch of boys. Yeah, get on well.
Yes. So you do meet the best people off the internet.
Yeah. Best and worst, don't you?
Yeah, there's probably some psychopaths also. Yes.
I'm very conscious of the time here, Kate. This is we've got about 20 minutes to go, and then it's 3 hours. So I think we call it at 3 hours.
You call it whenever you want to call it, Bruce. I'm here for the ride. I love catching up with you. I love answering questions. So it's honestly no strife.
Mega awesome, thank you. Oh, I get loads of messages from long distance drivers and like decorators, tradies, people like that. And they're like, no, I love the long podcast because they just plug themselves in and
just listen.
It's
good for that, to be fair, because people can skip, and if they don't, or it can end it halfway through, and then they've got something to listen to on a long journey if they want to pick it up. If they don't, that's fine, I guess. It's the nature of a podcast, isn't it, really?
No, you've got to sit and listen to it and then watch it all as well, okay? That's what you need to do.
That's what you need to do. That's the dumb thing, guys.
And then share it to everybody and comment and like, obviously.
Yes. Duh.
And review. Rate it.
And if you don't do that, you're basically a loser, so you have to do it.
I wouldn't go that far. It's a bit rude.
No, I definitely would. Watch it.
Justin SA. Hi, Kate and Bruce. Can you guys have a discussion about tinnitus? I've just discovered the joys of this. Okay, well, we kind of touched on it initially.
Yeah, lucky you if you're only just discovering it. I've been plagued with it for ages. My dad used to always say, Kate, wear earplugs. And when like your dad's telling you, so you're like, Dad, shut up. Dad, no, I don't need that. And then you kind of like get like the child rebellion in you, and you're like, no. And then now I've got freaking tinnitus. So now I won't ride without earplugs because I am on the reactive grind now. So if I could have been on the preventative one, if I didn't have it, then I should have really listened to him. But you don't ever listen to your parents when they tell you should do something. You should tidy your room. No. You shouldn't eat that amount of sugar. No. You should wear earplugs. No. And then now I'm like gutted that I didn't.
As you get older, you suddenly realise that, the oldies, when they were telling you stuff, they actually knew what they were talking about. Not always.
They weren't just yapping.
Yeah, sure.
There's some logic in it.
We had this discussion, didn't we, before? Because I always used to either get them free a lot of the time from companies, don't they? They'll get you molded earplugs and stuff. Ones. And I've spent my own money on like the top of the range. I think it was Ultimate Ear. I spent like 360 quid on their monitors because I ride with people all the time with the comms going. So it's the ability to hear the chat going on. But I found a full day, like 6, 7, 8 hours of wearing them, I started to feel really quite sick, almost seasick. Really? It was just weird, just filling up my whole ears. I found I couldn't really balance very well. And then when I took...
Interesting.
Excuse me. When I took them out, I still felt like they were in there. So I'd end up shouting at people. So I've gone back to just I bought them on eBay, on Amazon again. Just the cheap little, I think I've got the Auritech ones, and then I got sent, are they bike plugs or something? Just the bog standard little wee things that you plug in your ear. And I really like them now. So that's the ones I use now. After I spent bloody 360 quid, but oh well, never mind. But I'm the same. I have to have plugs now.
Yeah. I literally have custom fit guards, but I have like one of the cheapest in the range, what were they called? CF Autos. And I think they're like still 90 quid or so. So it's still quite a lot. Obviously, I got them for free. We were gifted, and I've got an affiliate link, Kate 10 for 10%
links down
off.
Below.
Just saying, links down below. If you are in the market, they come to your house and they do it all. But no, I don't ride without them. Like, they are genuinely a product that I always wear, and if I forget them, I feel ill with it. I'm like, my hearing's, I don't want to put my ears through this. Because my tinnitus is like, I'll just be in bed, and all of a sudden, the only way I can describe it is it goes, like really high pitch, like, and it feels like if the sound could do something, it would do that, and it like trails off into the distance, but it's there, and
it comes from nowhere, doesn't it?
Nowhere,
and then you're like, I can't not hear this anymore. Bugger off, do one. I get it when I'm sat editing.
Sometimes my tinnitus can come in the form of sounds that I've heard. So one time when I was at my mum and dad's. I had this KTM 85 2-stroke. Ring, ding, 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 ding. Ring, ding, 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 ding. That's all I could hear. Frog. It was like in my brain. And it was just a noise over and over again. And apparently that's a form of tinnitus. Your brain like clings onto a sound that you've heard and replays it over and over again. And I haven't had that kind of mimicking sound tinnitus for a while now. It's just like, but I did have that for a while and it was driving me crazy at night. Ring, ding, 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 ding. Ring, ding, ding. Like literally like I'm revving up a 2-stroke.
Yeah.
Awful.
Anyone of a certain vintage, do you know what Crazy Frog is?
Ring ding 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 ring ding 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 ring ding 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 ding. This is the Crazy Frog.
Oh, I don't remember that bit. There was
you don't?
No, like in the early, about 2002, 2003 sort of time. I remember in the police, in the Met, there was this email doing the rounds, and it was a very, very early days of like memes, that sort of thing. And it was the Crazy Frog, which was just this computer animation. Is it the same as thing you're talking about?
Yeah, like just, that frog with like the weird helmet thing.
Yeah, but there was no
and goggles.
I
think it got a theme tune like later on down the line. That's what I just gave you.
We didn't have it then. We just had that. It was just ring, ding, 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 ding. That was it. Just playing over and over and over and over again. Anyway, never mind. That tinnitus, that repeating noise. I always just thought it was Mrs. Teapot giving it that. Maybe it's tinnitus. You never know. It could be. Second question from Justin. The speed here in Australia has dropped so bad, 80 kilometres up in the hills. You do not need to brake or turn anymore. I've moved to dirt to have my fun. Depending on the judge and how much fun you had, you'd maybe get 6 months in jail. Okay, so it's not a question. It's just...
just a whinge, which we can relate to because the world is going that way. So we mirror your whinge, don't worry.
Yeah. I think it's ridiculous. It annoys the hell out of me, Justin. So,
average speed cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Boring.
Just, I think appropriate speed for appropriate situations and just be box clever with how you ride. That's
for sure.
It's my best advice. Richard Falwell. Fancy doing a round the world trip? I heard Bruce might have done, but you don't like mentioning it. Thank you very much. Cheers, Richard. Would you do that? Do you fancy doing something like that?
I think it would be amazing, but like, I've got Jasper. I've got my boy. I can't leave my boy. And I won't take him with me because he would probably die somehow and it'd be my fault. I just couldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I like home too much.
Yeah.
I'm really happy in my house. I'm content. I don't know. I feel like just going so far away for so long. Just don't know whether I'm built for it.
If it's not burning away at you every second of your life, then it's probably not something for you, really. It has to be something I always say this, it's got to be something that you don't want to do, you need to do. And then you will make it happen.
Then you will do it.
Yeah. Otherwise it's just it's a pipe dream there for the vast majority of people. But it is attainable. It is effectively easy to do. But
I'm probably in a good position to do it if I wouldn't want to do it without Mike because I like company. I do just like riding with people.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I experienced my first proper solo trip like on that Ducati, and I did enjoy the sense of freedom, and I actually liked feeling alone because there were some nights when I didn't have signal in my hotel in the depths of like Germany, and I was like, no one can reach me, and I like this. I'm not reachable to any of you, and I was just on the bed, just looking up like. I feel free because you'll know with this job, like you have to be available for everyone. Because if you don't reply, then you're seen as rude. I had this man message me on email. He said, you told me to contact Ren. This was about her fairing on a Royal Enfield, but she's not replied. I messaged her yesterday, so I'm asking you. And I'm like, well, you've just said that you've messaged her yesterday and she's not replied. Like, give the girl some time. I was busy doing my edit and stuff like that. Then he messaged me on Messenger you haven't replied to my email and Ren isn't replying. How do I get that front fairing? And I'm just like, what? This guy's bombarding me. I'm literally like doing work. I can't reply to him right now. Then he sends me a message like, oh, well, I'm going to unsubscribe. You English are all entitled. Not entitled. You English are all, he used a word, not entitled, conceited.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't jump because he's badgering me about where Ren got this thing from. When I told him it's in a link tree, like you can look, like you'll find it. You English are conceited. I just put, wow, sir, I am at work. And then I put, it's sounding very entitled that you expect a reply from me. So what if I was on holiday?
Yeah,
like, am I not allowed to be on holiday because I'm a social media presence? Like, people just want you all the time. And then if you don't reply, all of a sudden you're conceited. It's like, no, I'm just busy, man. I'm like drowning in edits. Like, give me a second.
But everybody expects everything for this now, don't they? No matter what time of day or night, they expect a reply, because I think almost because they can go on to YouTube or social media and they can find you. You're there. Obviously it's just content, isn't it? But they can get you. You're attainable. So,
and I feel like because it says like active when you're on Instagram and it shows like you are actively on there, they think you are available, but available isn't the same as active. I'm active on there doing my own thing, maybe doom scrolling because I need a dopamine hit because life's been really busy recently and I just need a moment away from replying to people. But then you get being called conceited.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Oh, well,
thanks, mate.
There's none as queer as folk.
That's so true.
Saying back in Scotland. Stuart Abram. Looking forward to this one as I'm listening to the Mossies back episodes while at work today. Listen to the last Kate one last week. All my bikes are old with no tech. My question, of all the new tech on bikes, what tech would Kate never go without, and what is the most useless tech available on machines today?
Well, I feel like heated grips is important, especially going into autumn and winter now as a vlogger.
Game changer.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's heated stuff, and like I've used Gerben in the past, I'm using Kais at the moment, just trying different things. And they are great, but I do just love heated grips. Like, because if you forget your heated stuff, you've got your grips. You'll be all right.
Yep.
I love heated grips. I like radar cruise control.
Yep.
Like, it's just brilliant. It's better than catching something up and then having to switch it off and then re-switch it on. It's like even lazier riding, like even less fatiguing. Quite like that. Things that I don't think are necessary are good.
Most useless tech available.
Backlit switch. I'm joking. Not backlit. That's quite useful. I don't know really. I don't.
Do you know what I used to really hate?
Go on.
Do you know these, like, the sound, the proximity sensors, the radar things that they have? Like these.
Like blind spot detection.
Yeah, Innov released one called the Third Eye or something, and it really annoyed. It's part of the reason why I parted ways with them as a sponsor, because I was just like, it's fucking useless. Like, if you should be looking round about you as a biker. You should know what's round about you. Well, my GS has it. God, it's useful.
I think they're great, yeah.
And it really annoys me that I find it useful. I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah. And do you know what I really like when you're on the motorway in the third lane and you pass a car and you see the little triangle light up on their mirrors? I'm like, at least they've been alerted that I'm here. Like, I really like that. Yeah, hopefully. Well, you've got to give them as much chance as you can.
And someone's just gone boop boop. What's that? Oh, it's somebody commenting on Facebook. Someone's just sent me a DM. Oh God, your questions have all disappeared because I've done that. So I'll be back to you. 2 seconds. Right, there we go. So that was Justin, wasn't it?
What's useless? What did we say was useless?
For me, I think trying to have a balanced viewpoint on it's not useless, but it annoys me the way manufacturers are trying to make you use their app for their bike. So you connect the phone. You can charge your phone up, or it's got phone connectivity, but it'll be like under the rear seat, and it's connected, and that's so that you can use their app and use their GPS, turn-by-turn navigation, all this sort of bollocks. I'm just like, you're never going to be as good as a dedicated thing. So just Just make a bike
Yeah.
that's good, and then let the people that do sat nav stuff do that. Let the people that do entertainment stuff and comms, let them do that, because you're never going to be able to tick all the boxes. But I know why they're doing it. But
yeah, then I guess that serves a purpose for people that don't want to buy the sat navs, and
absolutely,
it's just easy. Like it's an option for. I get it, I do. But I know what you mean. Like I have my Google Maps and I'm happy.
Kate. You're too level-headed. You're diplomatic.
I'm zenned out.
You are. God, I need Mike to be here for a while.
He'll bring you right down. It'll be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next one. Let's crack on to that. We've got 5 minutes. 5 minutes and we'll get through this. Jesus, no, we won't. There are so. Oh my God.
Shall we do some quick fire?
If we can. There's like 30 questions here. Jeez. Wow.
Is that me? Am I popular?
You're so popular.
I'm not.
Okay, let's try and go yes and no with these. Let's go.
Okay,
Nathan Turner.
Let's go.
If you could race in a MotoGP, what 5 race riders, past or present, would you have on the grid? Nathan from Saskatoon. 5 race riders.
I can't really comment because I don't really watch racing. I'm a really rubbish bike enthusiast. Like I like riding. I love riding. Yeah. But watching the racing, I mean, obviously you hear the big names. You'd want Rossi on there, wouldn't you? You'd want Marquez on there for sure. I'd like John Reynolds on there because he's OG. Who else? I don't know. There's just so many people. Like who do you say? Richard Cooper, he's a lovely guy. Yeah. But then again, so is come on, Kate, use your brain. Michael Rutter, lovely guy. But there's just so many. Like you could just name them all. So I don't know.
But if it's short circuit racing, yeah, for me, it would have to be. I'm
just going off general races because I don't even know where their things are.
But then it's like McGuinness. McGuinness excels on road racing, doesn't he? But put him on a short circuit. You know, he's not shit, but he's not. Oh,
he's handy enough.
Oh, I bet.
Let me tell you,
like
on the back of him at 180 mile an hour. Yeah, it's wild.
Right, got you. For me, it would have to be Rossi, Marquez, Casey Stoner.
Oh yeah.
It would have to be Simoncelli, Marco Simoncelli. I love that geezer. He was what a character.
What a guy.
So that's 4, and then it would have to be some of this new lot. Have you watched that? Is it the Netflix or Amazon about MotoGP? You not watched that series yet? Oh my God, it's stunning. To me, they were like kids, but they're like mid 20-odd-year-old or early 20-odd-year-old men. But them coming in like Bagnaia and all of this new breed that were coming through. Holy shit! They make Marquez look old. It's nuts. But the skill level's phenomenal. Yeah, I've got 4. I've got 4 there, Nathan. So that'll have to do.
I just have random races because I don't know enough about who does what. So
you rattled off 5, I think, at least.
I think so. Yeah.
Right, Colin Vaughan or Vaughan. Have you ever considered a round the world trip? Take inspiration from. We've covered that. Next, Mikey Lee Jones. Questions for both of you. If you could ride any road you wanted, which road would it be and why?
Honestly, just anything in Slovenia or Croatia. I just loved them. They're so...
Yeah.
You just have hours of fun on any of those roads. Like
you need to do the Balkan tour.
I need to.
I'm sure they will have you because there's parts in Montenegro, Macedonia. Macedonia blew me away. Wow. Stunning. Just beautiful. I need to do it. Yeah, I'm sure they'll have you along on that. It's a lot of fun.
Fingers crossed.
10 days. It's a big tour. You know, it's tiring, but it's good.
Yeah, because Gran Canaria was exhausting.
Yeah,
because that's very technical and very physical. And then you've got to get back to the hotel room, and you've got to transfer all your SD cards onto external hard drives so that you've got them fresh.
Drink all night,
and then drink all night, and then get up and do it all again. And I'm a weed. Like I'm not strong. And I'm just like, how am I surviving? Like sustaining this? I'm weak.
Such a hard life.
Such a hard life. No.
Was me. People out there digging holes in the ground and putting fences up.
Punching a screen right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like, God damn you! Stop whinging.
For me, any road, it would have to be. It would have to be one of the two extremes. Either ride up to Dead Horse at the top of Alaska, because I wanted to do that on the big trip but never got to do it, or to Ushuaia, the southern tip of South America, because I meant to do that on a big trip and didn't do it. So those two extremes are two things I will do and I'm going to do and I want to do.
Or riding the salt plains. I've seen a few things on Instagram pop up of people and it looks like they're in heaven.
Yeah,
like actual heaven. Like it's just all white and crazy.
Just flat out. Yeah. There's so many things to do though, isn't there? Like I want to ride anywhere in Mongolia. I want to ride to base camp. God, there's so much stuff I want to do. I'd love to ride in China. God.
I have a book that my sister got me and it's about this thick and it's of just all the really good locations and like tell you, like has a big map and shows you what the route is. And I think, you know, it could be a really cool series, like going through that book.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
like doing the exact routes, but some of them are crazy, like wild, like really just far away places that I'd have to save up for a long time.
What's the book called?
You want to quickly grab it?
Yeah, go on.
It's just there. Hang on.
But you might be giving the idea away.
I've got headset on.
All right. Might have to edit this out, folks, because I'm not giving anyone else the idea. This is Kate's idea, and if she's not going to do it, I might. Folks, we're keeping this one secret, so watch this space. All I'm going to say is you better do it.
All right,
Otherwise, I'll be asking for that book if I may.
All right. Well, if we don't do it, then you have my blessing, Bruce, to do it.
Right, you're on. I think that's a fantastic idea, by the way.
Really?
100%. 100%.
It would make a cool-ass series.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. And it's something you could do. You could run that for years. Because you could do 2 or 3 a year as a series, your own. Because there'd be big trips, wouldn't there? Anyway, okay, back to the quick fire. We failed. That's us 3 hours, but let's keep going if you want.
Yeah, we definitely failed.
Where's Avery? What's Kate's least favourite bike she's test ridden and why? Also, favourite biker hangout. Least favourite bike and why?
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say the Herald Maverick 250.
All right. Why is that?
Never
ridden it.
So first thing, Mike took it out and he just done a photo shoot with Oxford Products and he got to keep some of the kit and it was this beautiful green Mondial suit, really suits him, suits green because it's got ginger beard, looks like a little leprechaun. So it was right nice. He gets on this bike and the heat shield is in the completely wrong place and it burns a massive hole through his brand new pants that weren't even available to buy at the time. So that was gutted. So that was like frustrating. Then he was riding it on the motorway and I had a Triumph Thruxton RS that I was on and the said heat shield that was useless flew off, like the welds came loose and I had to dodge it on the Triumph on the motorway. And then I was riding home on it at night and I'm like, something's not right. What's not right? And then I realised there was no lights in front of me whatsoever in the sense that it doesn't illuminate the miles an hour. So it's guesswork in the dark.
Really?
Yes. I was like, what the heck is going on here?
Illuminated switchgear is your least of your worries there, isn't it?
Exactly. It was wild.
Wow.
So.
Because you get asked this question a lot, don't you? I get asked it all the time. And you kind of say to people, it's hard because there's not really a bad
even
bike.
The worst part.
Wait, one second, sorry.
That wasn't even the worst part. It had a really wide front tyre on, so it followed all the road, all the grooves in the road. So Mike's chipping in because he's passionate about this. Did you hear that?
He's got a vendetta again. Come on, Mike, in you
He's got a vendetta. Come on, Mike, he said come in. He said just bob your head in because this is Mike, everyone.
How you doing, Mike? You all right, pal?
He said, how you doing? You're right.
I'm doing good.
He said he's doing good.
Yeah, it had like a rear tyre on the front.
Yeah.
It was obviously a front, but when you was riding down the road, it literally followed every groove in the road, and it felt dangerous.
Yeah.
Sounds fun, that.
50 mile an hour was wild.
Yeah, if you like to live on the edge, maybe get a Maverick 250.
Yeah, that takes engagement to a whole new level, doesn't it? Wow.
Honestly, yeah. They will wake you up, that's for sure.
So I'll steer clear of that. I've never ridden any of them.
Yeah, sorry, Harold, but you got to be honest, haven't you?
You do, absolutely. Okay, favourite biker hangout?
Favourite biker hangout? Gosh. I don't know, like probably my local pasty and peas up Rivington on a Thursday night in the spring and summer. Yeah, it's literally a man with a van with pasties out the back of it.
That's got my name all over it. Never heard of that.
Bastian Pease. Yeah, it's just like a real local bike meet.
Yeah.
But when the clocks change and go, like it's darker in the evenings, like he only comes back when the clocks change again the next year.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So yeah, Bastian Pease.
Right, next one, Graham Garside. Dawson's Pies or Green Hawks? Is it Green Hawk or Hawks?
So, green algaes is what I call it.
Green algaes.
No, honestly, that's like what I called it growing up. Green algaes.
What's it actually called, though? Is that what it's...
Yeah, that's literally how I've grown up pronouncing it. Dad, do you want a green algae Swiss roll?
Maybe it is.
Because, like, he loves them. Maybe it is green alls, but I've always called it green algaes.
I don't know. I've never heard of it. So Dawson's Pies or Green algaes? Green algaes.
Green algaes in my adult life, for the nostalgia, I'd have to pick Dawson's Pies because they were the peppery pies that I used to have when I was in high school. There was a Dawson's Pies around the corner. Right. Yeah, so peppery though.
It's different language. Never heard. I'm going to have to try them. Best pies.
Green algaes.
Have we done pies?
You've got to
We've done pie and mash. We did pie and mash, best pie and mash in London, but we've not done best pies. That's a big hunt. I do like a pie. Anyway, David Booty. Will she be doing the Dakar this year? Are you going to enter the Dakar?
Yeah, I'm signed up. I'm signed up. Like, I'm ready. Yeah. Like, I've got my sponsored ride from KTM. I'm going. Right. Yeah, easy job. Light work.
Blue Hippo Moto.
I can't even competently wobble down a bloody cobbled path. Never mind bloody Dakar.
I don't think people comprehend like how extreme the Dakar is.
Just really hope that was a sarcastic comment. I really hope so.
You never know.
Never know.
Blue Hippo Moto. If you could build a custom motorcycle from the ground up, what type would you build and what engine would you pick to power it?
Oh, this is a really tricky question. That's a really tricky question. I do love V4s. Like, they are great, but I also love V-twins. I probably wouldn't put an inline 4 in it. It's just a bit, I don't know, it's not that sexy. Triples, I like triples, but I just really like torque, everywhere. Yeah. But, like, mainly, like, right at the bottom. So, I don't know, maybe something with, like, a super Dukey engine, but like a trellisy frame, Ducati-esque old trellis frame. I don't know, something like that.
You're talking my language, Kate.
You're on the same page, I think.
I like an engine that shouts and growls and burps and farts at you. That's what I like.
For sure.
Like a short-tempered engine. Just let's go. I like that.
Yeah, but that's what I like about the say the Aprilia V4. To me, that sounds like you've got a hot poker and you're prodding a Jaguar and it's like going like, I can't do the noise very well and I probably just made myself like a freak, but that's what I'm getting at. Like, that's what it sounds like to me when you rev it, and that's just a very, very nice sound.
I still think that Aprilia is probably the Tuono is probably, or the RSV is one of the best, if not the best sounding bike out there.
I would have to agree with you. I do like a crossplane, in the R1, because I like the distinct sound. Like when you're on a track day and it goes past, you're like, oh, the R1 sounds good. The V4 is just like, oh, chef's kiss.
I'm with you on that. Matthew Bo Brown, is there a link for this? Can't seem to find it, or am I being a div? You're being a bit of a div, Matthew. Sorry, mate. It's not out yet.
We love Bo. We love Bo. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it, mate. I know. People are still new to podcasts, aren't they? A lot of people don't even know what they are.
But Bo is quite good with technology because Bo's always in Mike's stream. So he will know.
In that case, Bo, you're being a div, pal. It'll be out soon, don't worry. This is Thursday. It'll be out next Wednesday. Awesome. Rob Theobald, having worked for the BMW dealership, what hints can she give to get the best discounts or add-ons when buying a new or second-hand bike?
Honestly, like, if you can be brazen and balls it in asking for discount and hard-faced and shameless, you'll usually get quite far, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's just the way it is. But I can't do that. from a personal pride level. I can't be begging for the last pence off a bike. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But there are people that are so hard-faced and they always seem to get the best deals, unfortunately.
Some folk are great at stuff like that. It's like there's no shame,
honestly,
is there? They just go for it.
No shame.
I can't do it.
No shame. I can't either, but there is a saying, shy kids get no sweets. So you do have to ask for discount because everyone else is asking for discount. So you've got to try. The worst they can say is no. Sorry, there's not enough margin in this bike. Oh, you know what? Okay, we'll see what we can do.
Okay. See, I'm terrible. I'm shite at that sort of stuff. I just go, how much is this bike? In fact, I don't even say that. I'm like, how much a month is this bike going to be? That's
Bruce,
it.
I'm not being funny. Somebody with your reach on social media, you pay for so much stuff that you could easily not pay for.
I know, but this is like, I don't know. I'm not.
It's not you, is it?
Yeah, I'm not comfortable getting freebies for a lot. I'll take the odd, like, I took these cameras free and stuff, but, you know, I was going to go and buy them anyway and try it. But, you know, like what you said, you have to be very clear with companies, don't you? And just say, look, like Insta, for example, they wanted the camera and they were like, right, 2 weeks, we need a review in 2 weeks. And I was just like, that ain't happening. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I need a good couple of months because I want to use the stuff and I want to use it in all different weathers. And I've got a massive backlog, so it'll take some time. But you have to be open with the companies and say, you know, I'm going to give it warts and all here. But I don't know. I don't know. I can't. It just doesn't sit well with me sometimes, the freebies. But, you know, I wish it did because I'd love stuff.
I've said no to companies when I've sent them my video that's going to go live. And I'm like, just out of courtesy, I'm sending it to you. And they've said, can you change this? And I've said respectfully, no, the video's going live tomorrow. And I've said no, and they probably won't want to work with me ever again. But I've had to stick to my guns because I'm not providing a marketing piece for them. I'm providing a real accurate review of how I would use this product. And like you say, the warts and all have to go in. And if something's a little bit overexposed in places, then that's just the product working, and that's how it works. And people need to see that. That's just what it is.
And if they want an advert, that they have like dictatorial control over, they pay for that. And you've got to be very open about that.
But then I wouldn't be comfortable doing that. Do you know what I mean? Because you'd have to be open about it. But then it's like people would really think that you are just going to be positive and, oh, this is amazing and stuff. So I'd rather not even get into that with some companies and stuff.
Yeah, good point. You'll muddy the water then, don't you?
Yeah,
good point.
Sure. It's tricky. It's tricky.
I've done like, you know, the mid video. I've done a couple, like, or maybe just one actually. I did one for this watch company. So it was like, I think it was like a 30-second or minute ad.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'll do paid integrations if I get offered them, if I agree with the subject matter.
Yeah.
Like, because ultimately you wouldn't normally put that in, but even that, you've got to like believe in the products. Otherwise you just look like a bit of a shill. Yeah. Like I've had a few companies like protein stuff and I'm like, how can I seamlessly integrate this into my video in a way that my audience are going to respect? I can't do it. It's a no. And I could have maybe got X amount of pounds out of it, but some things you just got to turn down for the bigger picture.
Yeah. I get stuff like, we love your channel, we love the community that you've grown up and all this sort of stuff. We think you'd be a great fit for our product. And it's like makeup or gym wear. And I'm like, or jewelry. And you're like, you've plainly never even seen me. You've not, you know what I mean?
Do you know what makes me laugh? I get these phishing ones that come through, not phishing, but like phishing emails. And they'll say, hi, Kate, we can see that you are an avid track addict and you make such incredible tea, because in my bio it's like something like tea maker, something like that.
Tea maker,
yeah. So then they'll put that in, like that's my whole personality is based on like me drinking tea, and I'm like, you don't know anything about me. You've literally just got this from my bio and have tried to apply it to make me think that you care about me, but you don't.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I swear a lot of this is just AI, isn't it? It's just AI generated. That's what I look at it and think. It's auto-generated Guff. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right, this isn't exactly yes or no answering, is it?
No,
AD
we're trying.
Donny, one for both of you. I've seen both your vids on it. I'm thinking of doing the Gran Canaria tour in November. What did you take, clothing or accessory-wise, that you absolutely didn't need, and what did you wish you'd taken with you but didn't?
The only thing I took too much of was clothes, like a typical woman. And like, it's a biking holiday, so it's fine if you're a sweaty mess. As long as you're like showering, of course. But like if you're wearing the same clothes the next day, like you're going to be getting sweaty anyway. So like there's less judgment because you're bikers. Do you know what I mean? If you're on like some fashion PR trip and you did that, you might get a few funny looks. But it's like part and parcel of being a biker, especially in somewhere where you're not naturally used to 30-degree heat.
Yeah. You're going to leak.
Yeah. I don't think there was anything that I took where I thought, oh, what a waste. Like, why did I take that except the odd few extra T-shirts I didn't need? Things that I took which were good, definitely some kind of airflow jacket. You need it.
So not full rucker then?
Hell no. You will drip with sweat. Was that you?
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. Yeah.
How did you survive?
Well, I just open it up. I mean, I'm fat. I sweat anyway. You know what I mean? Like I sweat in Scotland, so I'm going to sweat. I'm used to it. But when it gets hot, I find above sort of 25 degrees in my rucker because I've got the Navala, so it's
you're wild.
Yeah, it's heavy going. It gets real hot. So you literally got the thing wide open with all the vents, standing up, trying to get some air around your credentials. And it's like, oh, geez, it's too hot. But then you might end up in the top of the mountains one day and it's pushing with rain. So like, I've got my Gore-Tex on. How are you in your airflow jackets, you know?
Yeah. It's just so rare that would happen. So you might win like one time out of 10, but the 9 other times everyone's going to be like, you sweaty mess.
I think they get something daft like 10 days of rain a year or something over there.
It's mental, isn't it?
Hardly ever rains. One thing I did fall with the first time I went was my mobile data on my mobile. It wasn't included over there for some reason. And everybody who was there was on EE, and I think I was with GiftGaff at the time. So that definitely made me sort that out for the next time I went over.
Did that cost you a lot of money?
Can't remember. That sounds really wanky, but I can't remember.
No, I suppose it's not that bad because you haven't got your phone up with your maps because you've got a Jose or a Martin.
Yeah.
So it's not like sapping your data because you have...
You know, like one of my channel sponsors is Kalimoto.
Oh, so of course.
You kind of need to have that there. And I hadn't downloaded the map for Gran Canaria, so I couldn't use offline mode. So, that was a learning experience the first day or two that I was there. I was like, right, sort your phone out. So
I can see how that would be costly.
Yeah, I mean... if you don't want to take kit, you can speak with them before you go, and they have some basic kit there which you can hire. But just take your own kit with you, and as long as you can fit it in your bag for the hold, you'll be fine.
No job's a good one.
Yep. Jerry Johnson. What's he say? Oh, is she going to be on the podcast? Seriously, Bruce, you're getting a little posh when she set the bar that bar, there's no going back. Right, you're the pinnacle.
What a compliment. Good Lord, thank you.
Paul Ragg. My wife is looking for a small, in height and capacity, adventure bike to start her touring journeys. She's 5'2" with a 29 inside leg, but everything we look at needs lowering or some modification so she can touch the floor both sides. Is there anything you'd recommend given all the bikes you've ridden?
Okay, well, I suppose I can relate to this because I also have a 29-inch inside leg measurement, which makes me think that this lady is going to be very leggy. Because if she's 5'2" with the same inside leg measurement as me, she's going to be all legs. I'm very jealous. What I would say is there are smaller adventure bikes out there, but obviously you are going to compromise on ground clearance. So I guess it depends on how hardcore you aiming to go off-roading with this adventure bike. Unfortunately, it is just the way that we probably won't be able to get both feet touching the floor. And you kind of got to get a bit comfortable with that, unfortunately, when it comes to adventure bikes, just because of the nature of them. But I would say there are smaller ones out there, like, I don't know, for example, one off the top of my head, I think maybe that CF Moto 450 MT has a seat height of like 820 mil, which is like a height that I would deem like an acceptable average height for it's actually a low height for an adventure bike, because like my GS is 850 mil, and you've got the Tenere, which is like fit for giants and all sorts. Or maybe like, I don't know, I'd imagine things like the Touareg 660 might be a bit lower. I don't know. I don't know what is the small capacity one. So maybe the Himalayan with a lower seat, if you're thinking adventure bike. But unfortunately, usually a low seat, it either comes with like a low capacity, or you're just going to have to suck it up and get comfortable with the one leg life.
Yeah.
But that takes time to build up that experience and confidence. Like, you don't just get that overnight.
Yeah. And does it have to be an adventure bike as well? It's like, well, why are you looking at an adventure bike? Is it because you want that ability to go off-road stuff, touring, and then trails? Like, or is it just you like adventure bikes? Or, I don't know. Do you want wind protection for motorways or long riding? But there's
so much adaptable stuff. Like with naked bikes, you can get screens for them, and you can get top boxes from if you want to go adventuring. And there's so much. Yeah, the only reason I go down that route is because if you're specifying you want an adventure bike, I'm thinking maybe you want to dabble in the green lanes, but I could be wrong. It's I guess not enough info in the question, so we're just making assumptions.
There's so many people out there, and I could be guilty of that as well, but we ride adventure bikes and never get them dirty. They never go down the trails. I've done a wee bit now, but I like to take the GS on the track. I enjoy taking it on that. It's great fun. But for me, I do the adventure bike because I like the look of it. I just like the look of it and the practicality of it. But,
and do you know what? If you get a GS and you just go to Starbucks every weekend and that's the furthest it goes, you know what? As long as that person's happy and it's not hurting anyone, what does it matter? Yeah. Like, people will happily like rip you because you don't take the adventure bike on adventures or you don't go off-roading, but you don't have to. Like, there's no rules to this life. You just do what's legal and what makes you happy. Absolutely. End of the day. I never understand this, like, ripping people for certain things. It's just just live and let live, man.
Yeah, so many people saying stuff, isn't there? Like that about, GS wankers just go to the Starbucks, blah, 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 blah. And as you said, you're like, okay, have you ever been to a track on your sports bike? Or, I don't know. Like, you're on your hooligan KTM. Show me your wheelie in then. Let's see you wheelie down that road. It's just like, come on, live and let live. Everyone rides bikes. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, we should all be like hyping each other up, but there's so much divide, just unnecessary, by people with, like, I don't know, just viewing like GS wankers or these guys as. It's weird though. It's so weird.
But it's honestly, it's human nature. We are tribal animals. We need to be in our own little group. It's weird. I see it all the time, and in every sort of
I think I miss the psychology, like, because I just don't see it. But I understand how he's saying that people will be like that. But it's just weird to me.
But you would like to be around people like you, though, wouldn't you? You would like to be around people who are balanced and have a balanced viewpoint on things and just are open to new things.
Yeah, I guess when you put it like that.
Do you know what I mean?
So in a sense, they are my tribe.
Yeah. But then there's other groups of people who like to be combative. They like to be like in your face, and the alphas, they like to be like that. And some of them like to be together, but there's other ones that they want to lead another group.
Yeah.
And they think that if they can bully that group, they'll be part of that group, will bully it, and I'll be the alpha. No one's gonna piss on my chips, no one's gonna take over my land because this is mine. And that's just what people are like. People are weird. Yeah. People are weird. And you got other people who will just follow. You get leaders, don't you? But then you get other people that just want to follow. They want to be told what to do, what to think, what to say.
Yeah.
It's life. It's people. Anyway, everyone be more like Mike. Everyone be like Mike.
Exactly.
Chris Harding, on track, Would you rather something totally mental that you'd never get close to its capabilities, or a slower, smaller bike that you could max out on?
I've done both and I enjoy both in equal measures. One, I like obnoxious things that I'll never be able to use even a quarter of its capability, like taking the Fireblade to Portimao and riding that, or taking the Super Duke to Jerez. Like, I'm nowhere near like being a decent pace, but I'm loving.
Okay, you are not
life.
a slouch. I've never ridden with you, but I know people that have. You are not a slouch.
But I'm also a realist, and I know that there are far faster people out there than me.
Of course. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So someone that's never done a track day, I might be rapid, but to people that do track days all the time, I'm probably like a mid-pack at best. But like when I did the literally I did the Portimao track day, not track day, it was a Fireblade thing with Honda, and they invited girls from all over the world. And I was literally the slowest girl out of the whole thing. I was like, how are these girls so fast? Like,
all over the world, Kate. All over the world.
Yeah, but still influencers, still content creators, not like some of them maybe racers, but
okay. Get all the female influencers from the UK and put them on a track. I reckon you'd be pushing up the front, leading the way. Certainly fighting up the front.
I don't know. There's some fast girls out there, you know. Like Grace Webb, for example. Mm-hmm. When we were in Portimao, I was doing 160. She passed me like I was stood still. I was like, where were you getting this extra miles an hour from? How have you extracted that? She was just gone. But then again, she does a lot of track days, a lot.
Yeah. Zoe at RST, Jesus.
Rapid.
She's doing 140 odd at Donny. I mean, that's nuts.
That's psychotic.
Yeah.
So, there's some proper fast girls. Claudia, before she stopped doing track days because she had a wee nipper. But her on track, she was frightening.
Chronicles of Claudia. Yeah. I remember her. Yeah,
she was frightening on track.
Was she?
Rapid,
Wow.
Like scary fast. Yeah. On her R1, just dominating.
Yeah, that's right. God, yeah. Does she still do the socials and stuff now?
I think it's just gone a bit more like family orientated with her.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is fair. She's living that mama life, and she makes a great mum, and she's just wonderful. But I do need to meet up with Claude because I haven't seen her for a while, and that's sad. I need to make some time because you get so sucked into it, don't you, Bruce? Like the filming, the editing, that sometimes you just forget that you need to make time for people and do things and actually exist outside of the realms of YouTube.
Yeah. We chatted about this earlier. I feel really bad sometimes because my mates, you get to that point where your mates, like, they almost don't bother asking you about, going places and meeting up and doing stuff because they're like, well, you're going to be away, you're going to be busy, you're going to be editing. And it's like, oh shit, no, we've got to that stage. No. Right, let's sort this out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right, last couple of questions. John Sinclair. How did Kate find the IIM Road Smart process and the test that she thought she failed? We addressed that right at the start. Bosh.
We did. We got that boshed off pretty quick.
There we go. Stephen Brooks. Hi, Kate. What's your thoughts on Cars pasties? I've
never tried them.
What's a car
Is that the yellow shop that are popping up everywhere to compete with Greggs? And green algaes, green algaes. Yeah, I've never tried a Cars pasty, so I can't possibly comment. Sorry.
Never even heard of them either, Steve, so I couldn't tell you. Jim Benbow. Who's getting to 100,000 subscribers first, Kate or Bruce? And are you having a bet? I'm not betting. It'll be Kate, without a shadow of a doubt.
No.
No, don't be daft. Of course it will be. You'll be there probably by the end of this year, I would think.
My aim is to get there before we tip over into 25, but I don't think I'll get there. Yeah, I think maybe like January or something, but it would be nice. But no, I don't see like competition like that. Like I won't be like fist pump in the air when I overtake you. If I overtake you, I overtake you, who the hell do I think I am? If I overtake you. No, but even if I do, like, I want all my friends to do well. And people that I don't necessarily like the stuff, Like, I'm not hoping that they do bad. I just don't really care about keeping up with them or following what they're doing. But people like you, Chopsy, English Biker Dan, Richie, like, I just rooting for you all. And like Man Cave Moto, Tomboy a bit. I want us all to do well. Like, that's just my mindset. And when people hit these milestones, I'm just like, yes, get in. Like when Chopsy hit 100,000, I was buzzing. And now the bugger's on like 123, something like that, maybe more.
I don't know. Yeah, he's way up there now. Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting chatting with Andy TMF because he was, he just said,
Andy, of course, but he's just got a bajillion subscribers now.
60 odd, isn't he? But he says himself now, he's just like, I think I've just hit terminal velocity now. I can't really see the channel growing much more than it actually is. And he's absolutely fine with that.
That's not a bad number to plateau at.
Especially in the UK. I mean, 260 odd thousand. Yeah. For a bike channel in the UK, that's pretty damn good. Going. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All I want, I just want to hit 100K because I want that plaque and I want to put it in the toilet. That's all I want.
Do you know that plaque's got smaller?
Oh no, has it?
Than it used to be. Yeah.
It's because everybody gets it now. It's just no biggie.
It's literally anymore, like this big now.
No. Yeah. No, really?
I'm trying to think of something it's comparable to. Probably this Cardo box. This isn't sponsored, by the way. It's like that.
Really? Oh no.
Probably that big. Yeah, it's not like the big one that you used to get anymore.
Right, forget 100,000, folks. Let's push through that. Let's get Kate to 1 million because you get that diamond thing now, don't you? Is it diamond?
But then they'll probably like make it dead small as well. No. Oh well.
All right.
But I'm not in a race with you, Bruce. I hope we both hit it fairly swiftly.
There is no race. You're going to smash it. You will smash it. Next one, this is the last one. Richard Harris. Selling the GS for a Super Duke? If so, go for a Gen 3 over the 1390. It's a better bike in my opinion. So it's not a question. He's just...
No, but to be honest, if I could justify a Super Duke, I would... The better decision would probably be for a cheaper 1290, and I wouldn't be sad at that. I'd be buzzing. And also, the clutch is so much lighter on the 1290. So much lighter. And that's great
for the 1390?
Yeah.
Really?
It's noticeable. Because I was like swapping between them both on the track. And I was like, God, that's noticeable through heavy traffic. That would be a pain. But then again, I guess, I don't know. I guess you're not in heavy traffic long on a Super Duke, are you?
Good point. Yeah, good point. So I know Sam Vincent's got one at the moment, hasn't he? He's got one, a press
bike. He's living his best life, yeah.
Oh, he's just giggling his ass off all the time.
It's just the best. I love it.
I want one, but I don't want one because I think if I have one as a press bike, I'm going to fall in love with it. Because I just love that 1290. So God knows what that 13 is like.
You would love it, Bruce.
Especially because it's got, I mean, it plainly has what I don't have at the moment with the GS, that engagement. And I think it would do me well.
Honestly.
Oh.
You gotta get on one for the channel. It's gotta be done. Just because I would tune into that a second after it goes live. Like, what does he think?
My last hope with this 1300 is changing the headers.
Yeah.
If that injects a little bit more engagement into the bike, into the engine, then
job's a good one.
I can probably live another year or two with it. If it doesn't,
I hope that's the case.
Yeah, I know.
Otherwise, it's going to get expensive for you, isn't it, Bruce?
Well, that bike's got like 18,000 mile on it, and it's 10 months old. It's not worth anything now, so I take a huge loss on that. Yeah. Kate,
at least you're living your best life, and you're riding a bike as intended. So
exactly, as I said, there's people digging holes out there, and I'm just living the dream, so I can't complain. We have not even looked at Instagram yet. There's loads of questions on Instagram, but folks, that's 3.5 hours. I'm not going to subject Kate to any more, and we can save those questions for the next time. How about that?
Okay, to be continued.
When you hit 100K, which will probably be next month.
No.
That's right.
Okay, we'll do like 100K special then.
Right, okay, let's do it. Maybe we could do a collab. Let's do it in person.
Yes.
There's a collab.
Get it done.
Right, okay. And we can go to green algaes.
Green algaes. Green algaes. Yeah.
Kate, thank you very much for joining me for the evening. Is there anyone or anything you want to give a shout out to? Floor's yours.
Well, I shouted out Mike quite extensively. So once again, twitch.tv/Mike_Pie.
Links down below.
My main shout out. That's my main shout out, because you got to support the people that support you, and he supports me so much that he really does deserve some love if you guys would be willing to give him some.
I'm into that.
And I just like to shout out everyone that's been lovely to me, like you, Chopsy, Tim Roddy Rides, Man Cave Moto, English Biker Dan, Richie. Everyone's just given me Missing a Flyer. They've all just given me so much support and just been great people. So yeah, shout out to them as well.
Credit where credit's due, Kate. Like I said before, you're a grafter, and you deserve every success that's coming your way. 100%.
I appreciate it.
While we were talking about Mike, again, folks, if you're Amazon Prime, again, I'll leave links down below there. But if you're Amazon Prime, costs us absolutely nothing, and it can, make a massive difference to Mike really and to other people in that boat. So I'll leave all those links down below. Kate, awesome to chat with you. Thank you very much for giving us your time.
Thanks for having me. I always love it so much. And if you ever want me back on, just say, because I literally have so much fun.
Right,
best podcast ever. Go subscribe to Bru Time now.
And on that note, professional. All right, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this one. As always, keep doing your thing. Look after those that you love. Getting out there whenever you can, but most importantly, live your life. Woo-ha!